Still off air. Now we are on air. There we go.
Oh.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another Technical Problems broadcast. Tonight, I am joined by several co-hosts who will, I'm sure, give you some, who will have an opportunity to introduce themselves in a moment.
Several. Several isn't a number.
Yes. I have 4 co-hosts tonight.
Oh.
Is that better? Is that?
Yeah.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dexter, and we will start with, we'll start with Albert. Would you like to give yourself an introduction, please?
Evening, I'm Albert from Click Clap Pew.
Thank you very much, Albert. Since Charlie Man is having a drink, we will go for Colin next.
Hello, it's me from Pop Fury.
And Charlie Man, go on, empty the mouth.
That's what she said.
Indeed.
Chandy Man from Northern Custom Works.
Brilliant. And finally, Martello.
Hello, I am Martello, and I am an alcoholic.
Well, you know, it all starts with one step.
It does. It's a 14-step program.
14 steps to the pub.
Pretty much.
Yes. Right. So, Martello, can you give a bit of an indication as to where you are from? For those that in the chat that may not know.
Geographically, or
where are you coming from emotionally?
Emotionally. Well,
God damn it, gentlemen! I'm new to this.
I was born at an early age. You mean like what do I do?
Yes.
All right. Well, I am the editor of Paintball Magazine.
Fantastic.
See, it's an actual in-print magazine with glossiness inside and articles and stuff like that. So for my sins, I am the editor and one of the main photographers for that. I've gone out of focus. Doesn't like me. I also own a small paintball site in the southwest, in a Cornwall, in the arse end of nowhere, and we just recently taken over another site down in Cornwall as well. So we are going to be owning 2 at the end of this year, hopefully. And what else do I do? I do photography, CPPS, cover UK Woodland Masters, NXL Europe, as well as a myriad of other events that go on in the UK and abroad.
Fantastic. Son, what's the new site like?
The new one. We just recently taken over Newquay Paintball, which, if anyone's been to Newquay, is a absolutely lovely, glorious place. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a bit run down at the moment. The chap who owned it before, it was a really, really popular site back in the day when Newquay was like in its heyday of big stag groups and things like that. But in the past 5 to 8 years, I'd say it has kind of declined a little bit and not had a lot of love and attention put into it. So
yeah, I've
been down there the last couple of weeks strimming and uncovering hordes of bottles and cans that have been just thrown in hedges.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It just looks like someone's not, taking their rubbish home at the end of the day. I think I showed Dex some pictures of the like safe area where it was just the shed there was just crammed with boxes. Yeah. And obviously the rats had got in there and everything. It wasn't a pleasant place. So it's being gutted. It's been cleansed with fire. Now start to be rebuilt.
Napalming.
Yeah, basically napalming the rats out of there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it's been 3-4 weeks since we kind of took the keys over, and it hardly looks like I've dented the place. And the weeds and grass seem to be growing faster than I can single-handedly strim it out of the way. So yeah, it's work in progress, but we'll get there.
Just nuke the place with glyphosate. Just kill everything. I think biological.
The farmer might have something to say about that, though.
What he doesn't know, he'll only kill these plants.
They'll end up looking like Birmingham.
But well, it's good to hear that you're taking on a new site, and it's definitely good to hear that that it's a site is actually getting the love and attention it needs. And I sincerely hope that that site takes on for you. I hope that it does well, especially if it's been in an area that has at one point been quite popular. Then I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to get good numbers back to that site if it's in good condition.
Yeah, I think the site that we own currently, which is in a small village called Callington, which is a stone's throw from Plymouth.
Yeah,
the difficulty in starting up a site from scratch is just getting the word out there. No one knows you're there.
Yes,
and there's so much money pumped into social media. I mean, things are different. You don't just put adverts on the radio and paper anymore. It's Facebook, Instagram, and local businesses and things like that. So to take over a site that's established or has been established for 20 years, people already know that there is a site there. So half the work's kind of done. It's just building up that reputation again to make sure people know there's new people taking over, and it's investment put back into it. Yeah,
well,
like a pub that's under new management.
Yeah,
everyone's very skeptical to go back. Just what it's like before.
When people got stabbed every night. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is I think me and Chan can probably sympathise with the idea of not the site owner side of it, but seeing a site kind of where the site owner doesn't have the interest anymore and has let the site sort of degrade. And we used to play at a site that was like that, where the site owner he got to a point where he didn't care anymore and stopped putting any effort into the field. And that site is, I think it's still just kind of recovering now after it was taken over by a new ownership.
I think part of the issue with site owners, not all site owners, but certainly ones that I know or have worked with or are aware of, you go back to the mid-90s to late 90s, say early 2000s, paintball was a real boom sport. I mean, I remember when I was running Delta Force site for several years, and we were turning over, even in Plymouth, we were turning over hundreds of people a week at that site. And I don't think that revenue is coming in anymore. So many sites now are diversifying into axe throwing, archery, airsoft, and having to get people in to do other things. And especially, I don't think it's just the Southwest, but I certainly think Cornwall kind of gets left behind. I mean, we're so far behind even our flag, black and white. It's those guys have the money's just not rolling in through the door like it was. And as soon as the money stops rolling in, they lose interest. They haven't invested in the site, because when you go to such fantastic sites, just off the top of my head, MPF, Mayhem, places like that have the big tanks, and they put a load of money into their areas and develop stuff, and they're constantly putting money back into it. It's hard for these little sites that may not have that kind of revenue or haven't spent in the past, and now that revenue is gone, to suddenly keep up with those sites, because people expect more now, I think, from a experience. I think, which is good. I think it is good that you no longer rock up. When we first started playing paintball, when there's a caravan in the woods and a guy just smoking a fag goes, "There's your guns."
Busy out the back of a car.
Tubes. Try not to shoot the dog walkers. I'll be back in like 4 hours. Have fun. Thankfully those days are gone. But some sites are still pretty much belt and braces. So
well, that's it. I mean, when I first started getting into paintball, the first few times I played at a Delta Force site that was local to me, and it always seemed that you did have very big numbers. And then I did a few sessions where I actually worked at that same site as I started getting into playing as a regular, and there was weekends where you were having like 150 players on site. And it was absolutely heaving. But I suppose in a way it was good, because obviously it was still fun in the industry, even though that money was still going towards Delta Force. But if it drew players into the sport in the first place, I suppose that's good. But I would definitely agree with you, don't seem to get those sort of numbers now. And I think paintball in general has actually had a bit of a die-off over the past probably 5 years. And I think it seems like that might be slightly starting to turn around now. And that's what I would like to believe.
I think yes and no. I mean, I don't know if the other guys agree, but as soon as austerity comes in, people are strapped for cash. The first thing that goes is just having fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Your hobbies.
hey, are we
Yeah.
going to eat this week, or are we going to go and shoot paintballs at each other? And generally, it's the food trumps most things.
Yes.
Not all the time, but
Yeah. Well, that's I do know of one area when I think it was around about the 2008 when things started to go a bit bad. Then the one market that did increase was the adult market. People are choosing fun in some regards over food in that instance, but unfortunately, that didn't really apply to paintball, did it?
no.
Yeah. I just want to apologise to Gassy. I have moved the camera. He said he was sick of looking up my nose. But I am trying my best because I'm doing it through the phone because I've been kicked out the kitchen.
Make sense.
Albert,
dear.
can I just ask, is that a frog in satanic writing on the wall behind you?
No, it's what are you on about? That.
Hang on, that's your loft.
Yes.
That's better than my studio.
It says Cameron and it's got people doing freestyle dancing above it.
Right, it was. I could only really see the one on the far left. On the far left.
Yeah,
above
the
your
one
head.
Yeah.
The frog.
Yes, it does. It does look
That's-
strangely like a frog.
Maybe
Oh well.
in a bit.
Oh, like it's all going wrong now.
Don't know if you can make that out.
Yeah, I can make it out there. Yeah, but I must say I am actually impressed with your loft. Right.
But,
We can never get my son out of it because he's got a 40-inch telly there in his PlayStation. So.
going back
Very
on
nice.
what Mr. Martello was saying, that
Mhm.
the economic downturn and paintball sort of taking the hobby. Paintball's never been cheap. It's
True.
never been a day out. It's always been an expensive day out. So
Mhm.
it's probably one of the first or suffer when people don't have money, which is why it's to diversify and use other stuff that isn't as expensive,
Yes.
and it draws a crowd in for where they can get a high turnover with a little bit of profit rather than people can afford to play doing the other stuff. But if they can't afford to do the paintball, they just won't turn up. They've actually got something else to go and spend the money on.
Yeah. See, I can't fault sites at all on that, and I totally understand why sites are diversifying now. And I think people that, you know, when you see a site say, "Oh, we're now offering airsoft," and you'll have people that will throw a bit of a tantrum, and it's the sort of the stereotypical, "Oh, you're not doing airsoft, are you?" So, well, it's a bit silly because those sites, they still have staff that need to put food on the table at the end of the day. See, if it means that that site still stays open, as long as they are offering paintball, then they
Doesn't
can't really
affect you.
complain. Yeah.
No one's forcing you to play. As long as they still offer the paintball facilities, then you know we're all good. But
Yeah.
I think you're right. Like paintball has never been a cheap sport, but I do believe that paintball has never been as affordable as it is now.
I would
mean,
totally agree.
Without a doubt, when I first started, you used to complain about expensive. Cool.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean you had your 12 grams for a start, but they weren't cheap.
Yeah.
Then you had like your 10, 12 shots in a tube that were leathery, possibly break on impact if you cranked it up to 400 feet per second.
Yeah, if it actually blew the bark off trees.
Yeah, but I just think it's as cheap as it has ever been. It's just I don't think people have that disposable income that they used to
Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I had a similar argument with someone a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying, "Oh, it's too expensive to play now. I can't afford to do it." I said, "Well, the game tickets is the only thing that's really gone up. Paint's about the same price as it was 5-6
Yeah.
years ago. Your transport's no more expensive than what it used to be. Game tickets have gone up, yes, but."
Mhm.
And then his argument when he came back was, well, the price of all the kit's gone up, which it has.
have.
Yes.
But then the kit's gone up.
Mm.
Because
You see, I think,
years ago we weren't paying £150, £200 for a mask.
yeah, and I think it's the same for like a lot of the playing gear. You know, like £130 for a set of playing pants. Now, I know, again, they've never been the cheapest, but I would say they're definitely more expensive than they were. But I do think, you know, if you want to have some of the nicer gear, you've got to wait for things to go on sale. Like, I've just managed to pick myself up a set of dye playing pants from Just Paintball because, quite frankly, they were too good of a deal to pass up on, and I needed new playing pants.
Yeah. The other thing is, especially with the economic downturn, the exchange rates have changed, and 99% of paintball gear comes from other countries.
Yes.
So that it's never going to be as cheap because your exchange rate's not as good.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I do remember back in the probably late 90s, early 2000s, you could pick up a Flex 7 or Flex 8 for 35, 40 quid.
Yeah.
Fairly like all day long. That wasn't like a. I just remember within 2 months the price doubling because the dollar just completely went. I mean, I went to it must have been 2007. 2006 maybe, because it was like $2 to the pound, and we went to Oklahoma D-Day and had like, wow, I'm not going to take any kit with me. I'm just going to buy everything when I'm out there and come back with it. But yeah, pretty much within a couple of years, the exchange rate went to crap, and everything just shot up in price. But no, it's not much as we can do as players to do much about that. I do think that a lot of the manufacturers would be quite happy to lower their prices if the margins were there, because they would arguably sell more units. Although then again, I can still pick up a pair of brand new grills if I look hard enough online for 50 quid.
Possibly, yeah. I know that, for example, BZ did a deal probably maybe it can't have even been a year ago, where they were selling the Dye i4s for, I think it was £55.
Yeah.
And because there's a lad that I work with who plays airsoft, and he went down and got one of those because they're a very good mask. But as far as the cost goes, I would definitely say that paintball gear has gone up in price. But it's the thing that we'll all actually spend the most money on in reality is paint. And paint, when you compare to when the game first started, I mean, you're probably paying the same for round ball as what you're now paying for First Strike. You know, you could be paying like 50 pence a ball or even more.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard instances of games, of like sites where they're using say things like Splatmasters or possibly the original Nell spots. Where
from when I first started, I don't think paint's changed price, or maybe it's maybe gone up 2 or 3 quid a box, depending on what paint it is. But
yes,
I mean, I've been playing for well over 10 years, and it's not really changed that much all the time I've been playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, you say that the prices are fairly stable. I mean, when I went out to play in the States, the paint was a lot more expensive we pay here. Yes. Canada, it's absolutely crazy. Over in France and Germany, like they were paying a lot more for the paint. Again, it's down to exchange rate as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys that come over from the Netherlands, is it the Northern Alliance, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Northern Alliance.
There's a reason why there's so many teams that come over from those countries to play the big games and CPPS and things like that. It's because they can come over, have a holiday, and play paintball.
Yeah.
For the cost it is, just to play paintball. So why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because I know some of the Swedes last year that came over for Mayhem, they were able to pay for their hotels, flights, the game ticket, the paint, for less than it would have cost them to play at their local site.
Yeah.
My good God.
Yeah. Well, this is the reason most of them play pump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of them play pump or mechanical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is it. And I've mentioned it before, but if you look back to Borg when he was making videos, I'm sure he was paying something like $600, would have been £600 or whatever the equivalent was at the time, for like a box of paint, and that was why he was so stingy on what he actually shot. And there was no, it didn't seem that there was any real sort of organized games. It was all sort of outlaw ball and like old abandoned buildings and places. But that was just what it cost to play in Croatia at the time, apparently.
Outlaw ball in this country, I think, is because we're such a condensed, as it were, for population, is considered, again, health and safety and everything, and the suing culture that we probably have in this country. Outlaw ball is definitely frowned upon.
Oh, definitely, yes.
And you would be ousted as a bad character to paintball in general if you did it. Whereas some other countries, I know some of the states in America that are really big, it's kind of, we just use this land that's not used because no one's around for 400 miles. And like you're saying, I think Croatia is the same. They just kind of, and I know that a few places in Greece where the guys go, oh yeah, we know a guy that has a hotel and he doesn't mind us going out there, and off they go.
Gassi's just said in the comment, is Germany was €55 for 2-star. Sweden play so much pump paintball because it's £100 a box.
Yeah.
So I think we have got it very, very easy over here. I think if paint went up to that, I think you would definitely see who the dedicated paintballers are in the UK. Not even that, to be totally honest. I think you would just see who's got the most money.
Basically, everybody would start playing pump, and it'd be share a box between 10 of you.
Yeah,
do it.
Albert, I think if that was the case, it would be going back to the point of things like the original Splatmasters.
Buy a box of paint for the year.
Yeah, making sure that you're actually on top of the other person before.
Artwood's saying about masks and actual paintball playing gear has certainly gone through the roof, but he's saying how much paintball gear do you actually need apart from a mask to play efficiently?
Well, this is it. I mean, obviously, you need a mask. You need a marker that shoots reliably. And other than that, I think it's very sort of... I'm trying to think of the right wording. A mask and a good marker that cycles regular. Other than that, it's down to player skill for a lot of it.
I don't know. I think you are completely right. It's down to player skill. However, if I had the choice of driving to work in a DB7 or a Robin Reliant, I might err on the side of the DB.
Well, doubt.
So it does the same job. It has the same function, but at the end of the day, it's nice to have something that is reliable and
we all like to show off. We must admit that on paintball, and you all like to show off your marker, isn't it? Basically. If somebody takes pride in your marker, you're over the moon. If somebody, can I shoot? Yeah, you know what I mean? You get a buzz out of it.
But then again, it is also nice to rock up at some of the big games. I know Jim, who writes for the magazine, he went up to, where was it? Paint Fest one year.
Yeah.
And his marker went down. I think he had an old shocker. His marker went down, so he picked up one of the 98s that was being handed out as rental guns. So he played with that, and he said he had a great day. It was good fun, and he actually, shot a fair few people out, and people even went, "Oh, I'm not going to shoot you because you're obviously a rental," which to their detriment because he absolutely lit them up. But you're completely right. You don't have to have the CS2s and Dilux X or whatever to play and have fun at all.
Well, to be fair, three of us play pump most of the time anyway.
Yeah,
all of the time.
All of the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's it. Albert plays all the time.
But then again, pumps, they go from little money up to a substantial amount. I mean, they're not cheap. I mean, they're not like can't pick them up for £9. Although I did pick up a box of tracers the other day, about 30 of them. If anyone's interested.
Yes, please.
Actually. Chan, we've been talking about a musket for a while.
Got sat in the garage.
Now, are these original tracers or are these Empire tracers?
PMI.
Ooh,
PMI
nice.
Tracers. Oh, nice.
Do you want me to go and get a couple?
I've got a fair few of them in me. Yeah, I've got a fair few of them lying about.
Tout your wares.
Yeah, if you want to try and get some sales from this or something, then feel free. Just keep an eye on the comments. Or
this is now turning into a live auction.
I know. Yeah,
Gassy said that Colin wants all 30.
Wants all 30. Oh,
Yeah.
Tinks is on. I got to say hello to Tinks. Hi, Tinks. Yeah. I know.
I'm slipping down.
I know Witsy from Going Postal had a couple of
Yeah.
boxed mint with registration cards, Maverick pumps.
Very nice.
Going.
Nice.
Like the real old orange box with the
Yeah.
So if anyone does want one, I know Witsy's got a couple of that in his garage.
Awesome.
I think I might be...
Tap him up at Mayhem.
So I think you both may be getting hassled at events. No,
Well, yeah, no, I've played pump. I had oh God, what's the old Titman pump? Oh,
C3.
no, not the Pro.
SL68.
The SL68. Yes, my first thought now when I hear Titman pump is the C3. But yes, the SL68.
I've got 3 of them as well.
I took an original CO2 Titman SL out to, it must have been the last Titman challenge in the UK.
Yeah,
and I played with that all day until I hit up against the Scottish Warriors, and then decided to go and get my ego.
Oh no. That was probably around 2012, was it? Or 20?
Yeah, that was a bit before my time with the team.
I think, I don't remember. It was, I think it was
Wasn't
mid 2000, and
I think
I
it might
don't
have been
remember.
30. I think at the last Titman Challenge in the UK might have been 13 weeks. I'm pretty sure the Titman Challenge 2012 was held at Sennybridge.
Yeah, it wasn't that one.
Yeah, it would have been the following year where it was at an alternative site because it was supposed to be
there. Yeah.
It wasn't that one.
Homebush.
Yeah, it was at Homebush, but it was the Homebush before, when we had the little USB sticks that you had to plug in.
Oh yes, yeah. I know. Yeah, I remember that.
I just can't remember what date it was.
Paul Cross has put here that in 1990 it cost £90 for 2,500 paintballs.
Yeah, so to allow for inflation. I've
Yeah.
got no idea what that would be. I'm sure there's a website somewhere that you can type in amounts.
I think if we're allowed for inflation, that would be
£25 billion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we allow for a Freddo bar being like 5p, and we can work it out from there?
Yeah, but a Freddo bar, like Freddo's not going to mortgage.
Was it a Taz bar or a Freddo bar?
It's a Freddo bar, the Freddo bar minimum wage.
Yeah. That's it. Freddo's used to be like 5p a bar, and now they're like about 50 pence or something. Freddo's now got a mortgage and 5 kids.
Well, you have seen the thing where you work out what the minimum wage should be by the rise in price of a Freddo, don't you?
No, I haven't seen that one.
No. There's a thing. Basically, it's like it works out is like how many Freddos could you buy for minimum wage when they were 5p, and then you work out what price they are now and how many you could buy. You have to be able to buy the same amount of Freddos for an hour's wage. You'd have to be on £18 an hour.
Right.
Canny.
Well,
£18 an hour minimum wage, I'm okay with.
Oh yeah.
yes and no. I mean, £18 an hour for the minimum wage sounds great until you realise that everything else would go up with it. Freddo wouldn't just have like a mortgage. Freddo would be like buying like a football stadium or something.
Interesting fact. It says here when the Freddo bar was relaunched in the 1990s, the price was 10p. The price of a Freddo remained 10p until 2005, when the price of a Freddo bar was roughly increased in price by 2p a year. In 2016, the price had gone up to 25p. Oh my life.
This is just unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
Someone get a Freddo.
It really grinds my gears.
Yeah, but at least Space Raiders are still like 10 pence a packet. Or 20p or whatever it is.
They actually nutritional value.
What was that?
Do they have any nutritional value though?
No, I believe they're mostly just dust and air. But, you know, they taste tangy, so...
It says here, by the year 2030, a Freddo bar will be 38p.
Christ!
That's just...
You lot are too much interested in Freddos. I don't know who Ripper 348 is.
It's all on the internet. Someone's already done all the research.
Oh, right. Is that who Rippo 348 is?
Yes,
yeah, there's
the-
the
Ah,
Freddo,
right, yeah.
the Freddo index here. I mean, the Beano has gone up 380%.
yeah, but does anybody actually still read the Beano?
Ah,
Have you, read,
barstool.
have you read my magazine?
Bang me head.
You done it again, Albert.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up braining yourself.
Is this bloody
No
thing?
sense of feeling.
You say no sense, no feeling.
Cheers for that.
There you go. Well, I'd like to.
Well, while you've stopped talking about Freddos, I would just like to say, put one thing forward: how extremely proud I am as BZ Grillies to have the paintball magazines on my jersey.
Yeah, and the Grizzlies feature a couple of times in the next edition as well. So,
Very
Oh,
nice.
brilliant!
so yeah, they are in there. I know they are because I got the images off Cheryl. I was twisting-
All right, excellent.
You have to use it.
Yeah, that's really nice.
God knows what they'll be
You
like
don't upset
if you're
Cheryl.
at Paintfest. No.
Well, it isn't the plan at the minute for like at least two of we. Is it three of we are going to be playing pump? So,
No.
Fingers crossed.
No.
oh yes, Chan. Yes.
Silent
No.
Brothers
No.
Yep.
No.
I only have a pump. What else can?
Chan,
What am I supposed to do? Go out with a catapult?
I
Play
re-
with a
yeah,
Mac
actually, yes.
Tech 3.
I thought you were going to say play with someone else there.
just
I really
Just
want to mug out.
throw 'em
I really want to mug out a pro player with a pump.
oh man.
Funnily
It's
enough, one of the BZ lads nearly did Ash once with a pump. He actually came
Yeah.
up and shook the lad's hand. He said, I can't believe you tried to bunker me with it, and it was with an old PMI Tracer
Very nice.
down at Mayhem.
Yeah.
If one of you guys manages to bunker one of the Joy Division, that'd just be brilliant.
Oh, we haven't. We might not get them because they're not in our group. We've got the UK Preds.
Right.
We've got the Nam Wrecking Crew, if I remember rightly. And what it does is it works. We have to get through our group, and then it'll get split up. So there is a chance we might not play against them.
Damn.
No,
A chance. I can't. I'm trying to think.
you'll have to play your little socks off, Albert.
Oh, you see there? We have Stockholm. Gassy just said we have Stockholm Ignition.
Now, is that the current Supair Stockholm Ignition, or are they
Oh.
broadcast in different?
God, I hope not.
I hope not.
God, I hope so.
I'll be there taking photos.
If it's the current like sub air team, that just gives us more incentive to want to try and mug one out with a pump.
Yeah,
Hell, not actually just give us an old Nell spot. I want to go out and play the tournament games with a Nell spot.
just be just go out with goblin solos.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get.
No, I want to give myself a fighting chance. I'll have myself a goblin juice and a
Yeah.
little bandolier of shells.
They're just JT Flatmaster
Yeah.
Why not?
shooting 550 cal at them.
Oh, you see, Chan.
Chan's upset.
Oh,
I have played on a tourney field with one of those JT Splatmasters. Again,
oh no! Is
Regular.
this like, oh, yeah, there you go.
Bro
dear.
Paintball says newer mechanicals don't really save paint. The EMEC and the M170R can easily reach 10.5 limit imposed at most sites in the right hands. I would totally agree with that, which is one of the reasons why I think the whole cap and electro markers at 5.5 is a bit of a strange one. Now, I can understand trying to reduce the amount of paint that the electros can fire. I can kind of understand that. But I do think reducing it right down to 5.5 is a bit of a low one when you can easily, very, very easily pass that with even with a pump. I
Yeah.
reckon I can shoot more than 5.5.
well, I got 8.4 over a Virtue clock with mine. But the reasoning behind it is not so much the fact that y'all know you can't hit 5.5 with a mech anyway.
Mhm.
The reasoning behind it is yes, you can hit higher fire rates, but you can't maintain them.
Very true. Very true.
You can't sit and lane at 10 BPS for 30 seconds constant, whereas with an electro you can.
I don't know. In the right hands, I think. Yeah, the average person probably couldn't.
You
Yes.
have not seen my fun and
You'd
forum.
have a heavy sword.
None of this.
Miss Beard use.
In all seriousness, talking to that though, how many of you have seen the video of that guy with his pump? I was tagged in it earlier on.
Yeah, gold
Guy
one.
with his pump.
Yeah, Albert.
I missed something.
Did you not see that video of the guy? He was using auto trigger. In all fairness, but he must be doing about 15 balls a second with his pump.
Nah.
Well, I'll have to look for that one.
9 or 10.
Nah, I think 15.
That's more than 10. That Chan.
He wasn't sponsored by
not.
Pornhub, was he?
He very well could have been.
Misspent youth.
Yeah.
Still gravity hopper on it, so it wouldn't have got much out at the end of it.
No, that's it. It would have been just constant chopping. But if he'd had a force feed on it,
I do honestly think though the fire rate thing. I think. Oh, that's disappeared. The fire rate. You vanished off my screen for a second. It was a blissful moment. The fire rate is.
ladies and gentlemen, Martello has to go now.
Oh. the fire rate situation. I do think 8 balls per second is probably a nice, comfortable rate where mech can easily keep up with that, and it doesn't make you feel like an electro is necessarily redundant.
Yes.
I just think it's a nice, comfortable rate. I mean, I don't see anything wrong per se with like the 12.5. I think that's a nice rate for me. But yeah, I think 8's a nice compromise. But I do think 5 is,
there's a lot of guns can't do 5.
Yes.
Yeah. I think part of the reasoning is to try and push people towards going into a totally mechanical game rather than just having the odd electros and have maybe 1 or 2 electros in there rather than everyone just turning up, oh, well, I'll just use my electro then.
Yeah.
True.
The idea is to push the skills needed to play well with a mechanical or a pump.
Yeah, but I play shit with both.
Beat me to it there. I was going to say that.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I was looking at the list that Planet Eclipse brought out about this 5.5, and the amount of guns that Planet Eclipse make that can't do it.
Yeah,
is just
it is mainly the older
mental.
stuff.
Yeah, but
90% of the blooming egos you can cap them at 4.
Skin buggers like me only have old Planet Eclipse guns.
Yeah,
took me long enough to get the one I've got.
Yeah,
I think, mate. I don't know. Tell me if I'm completely out of order. But if you're going in to play something that's 5 balls per second, and you're pissed off that you can't shoot faster because you got an electro, you're playing at the wrong event.
Yeah.
Like don't just don't turn up to a gunfight with a spoon.
Or
With
the wrong gun. At least.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously not designed for you. It's not for you. It's like just the same way that I wouldn't kick off if I turned up at an OMG game with my CS2 and go, why can't I play with this? It's like,
be funny if you did.
It's not a MagFed gun. And then we'll get into that whole argument that Dexter had a few years ago about what is MagFed, and then everyone's going to be upset.
I am telling you now that a hopper is by rights, it is technically MagFed.
It is a magazine, you're right.
Yeah.
Again, wise words of Jim said to me, if you went up to the army and went, hey, I've got this new system that fires bullets, and all you do is just dump them in the top. That's all you have to do. You just dump them in the top and they just fire out.
Oh, they'd be over the moon, wouldn't they?
Rip your arm off for it.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is it. I've said it umpteen times. I can't fault anybody for their chosen play style. If that's what makes you happy to play it, then yeah. But it's like when it comes to firing around projectile, using the hopper is the most superior method for it. when it comes to firing first rate, yeah, mags can't be beaten.
But I think Tony, sorry to interrupt, Tony's just
no
posted up on the feed. They let a guy at Stanley Factory play with he's put a geek, I'll say that's G-Tech, and 10 round tubes. I see guys turn up at MagFed event saying, hey, I got a pump with just stick feed. Can I play? And they go, no. So I personally, I would go, yeah, sure. You're not going to be outgunned at all by any of these guys here.
That's what when pees me off.
You see, now this is the problem that I think a lot of MagFed players have. I'm going to say a lot, but not all. It's they seem to confuse Milsim with MagFed. It's like MagFed is on the broadest definition, it's using a marker that requires a mag, but that then rules out certain things that are Milsim. And you have the guys that want to play Milsim, but then they're using things that aren't necessarily going to be MagFed. Say, for example, a pump action shotgun, it isn't MagFed, but it's definitely Milsim.
Well, it has a tubular magazine.
But Hotbite is by definition a magazine, and a lot of these guys that will use the whole thing of, oh well, it's what you can, what you can. Albert, stop it!
Stop killing.
So, a lot of these guys that will argue that you can't use a 10-round tube will argue that you can use a shotgun because it's MagFed, but it's not MagFed, and they'll want to use revolvers as well. But it's not MagFed.
My first ever experience of MagFed, I had a Takamo kit converted BT4, but I also took my sniper with the 10-round tube on it.
Yes.
I asked at the event, can I use it?
Yeah.
Majority of people who were playing the event said yes.
Yes.
I mean, majority, it was like 90%.
Yeah.
The guy who ran the game initially said no, but then after everyone said, well, why not? He couldn't come up with an answer, so he let me play with it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't like it because it wasn't realistic looking. It hadn't got the Milsim style.
Yes, that's what a lot of these players want.
Literally, the next day, Hedgehog put up his first Car 98K that he'd built that used the BT 10-round feed tube, and he couldn't get enough of it. But it's like, well, it's exactly the same feed tube as I was using.
Yes.
That's just down to personal choice, though. But, who wants? It's aesthetics. It's a certain amount of elitism in paintball that we can honestly. And this isn't just MagFed. I'm not having a go at MagFed, so please don't hate me because I play all forms of paintball. But it goes for tournament as well. You rock up at a game and they go, you can't use that, or what are you doing using that?
Yes.
I mean, I've seen Tommy Webb, who obviously plays for Jags in the Elite, and he plays North versus South. He plays everything. He played the full season of CPPS with a defender.
Yep.
That's not a speedball gun. He was kind of ripped a little bit for it by some of the people, but he was bunkering people. He was, playing there. But there's a certain amount of inherent elitism that goes on that says someone decides that you can't do that because I'm in charge. Yeah. And stop it. It needs to stop.
Yes.
Definitely. Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. It's like, for the most part, as long as your marker falls within the rules and does what all of the other markers are doing, if that is what's in the rules, then it should be allowed. But what I'm trying to get at is, I'm not meaning to rip on MagFed, but my point is, it's like you have players that don't want, like, say, like a stock class player to join in. They don't want that player to join in because it's breaking the immersion for them. And I can understand that, but those players really should be looking at things like Milsim games over just MagFed. However, I understand there's probably quite a limited number of Milsim games to purely MagFed. And if they can get that fixed from playing MagFed games, I can't really fault those players for doing that. And also wanting other people to play like themselves. It's not great.
It's true, but the community should be educating, and letting people know what they can and can't bring to start with and where they stand, so that you don't have these incidents. And they should be educating people within that community. You should be welcoming and rather than go, no, you can't, and get people's backs up. I mean, I played Airsoft a few times back in the early 2000s. And what put me off was when I turned up in jeans and a Flex 7, and they said I couldn't play in jeans.
Yeah.
Why?
Why can't I play in jeans?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't what they do. I was told, no, you can't, unless you got camo fatigues, you're not playing today.
Yeah.
And that just put a bitter taste in my mouth. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
And the thing that I find funny about the thing that I find funny about that though now is, Colin, you play Airsoft reasonably regular, don't you?
Yeah.
Have you experienced? There's a lot of guys that are playing Airsoft now that are running sort of operator loadouts where they're playing in like jeans and t-shirts with their tactical gear thrown on top because that's what they've seen operators on TV doing.
There's a group of players that play regularly at my local Airsoft club in combats, but Hawaiian shirts.
I wonder if they've by any chance seen Alabaster Slim.
Yeah, his whole team plays that, don't they?
Yeah,
SPS used to do that back in the day, to be fair, as well.
Yeah. I mean, the most I've had similar to that. I mean, the Airsoft club that I play with tend to be quite open and all-encompassing, and they'll welcome. There's a bit. You get a bit of stick from them because they know you from a paintball background. So they give me a bit of stick, I give them a bit of stick, and we all have a laugh about it. But I have had it where I've been on the field, and the first gun I ever used for Airsoft was an M14 that's about 6 foot long.
Yeah.
And I got asked by someone, why are you at the front with that? But it shoots BBs, doesn't it? Well, yeah.
I think...
But it's a DMR. I'm like, no, it just shoots BBs. I'm at the front.
Yeah.
M14 was standard issue infantry.
Yeah, that's it. At one time, that was what pretty much everyone used. However, talking of that, but flipping it over to paintball, I believe Albert has a story along those lines.
Bring it back to paintball. Bring it back to
paintball. What?
About the idea of, what are you doing at the front with that?
Oh yeah, when one of my own team shot me in the back of the head, and I turned around and like, come on, watch what you're doing. And he goes, "You're playing with a pump. Why? What are you doing at the front?
You're too far forward." I've had that.
Yeah.
All
right.
You mean I'm too far forward?
He's playing with a $2,000 Tawny gun, and I'm playing with a pump gun, and I'm in front of him. Yeah. He should be ashamed of himself. He should be in front of me.
That's it. By his own logic, he should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
And then he's shooting his own team.
Speaking of pumps,
I get that a lot.
Gassy has said to share this up.
Right.
This is for any.
Hey, I'm on screen twice.
For any
God, that's scary. Don't do that again.
I'm confused.
Stop doing that.
For any Grizzly player that wants to play pump at the GCC, we'll be wearing a pair of
Come on, then.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll wear them.
Is it a tactical thong?
It's a pair of B. Yeah, I'll definitely wear them.
Yep,
yeah, I'll wear them even if I'm not playing with a pump.
Yep.
Oh well, Gassy, your plan didn't work.
Nah.
Give me those and a mankini.
All right,
I've already said that I would play in a bear
the
outfit.
Stage would have been the ears and nothing else, but even that's not going to be enough.
Oh yeah, definitely I'll do that. No,
is anybody else going to want to come on field with us?
My God,
I've always got. I can always wear the bear ears and me flashing granny outfit.
Oh,
it's going to be Grizzly.
Oh, actually,
yeah, that's definitely got a canny growler on us.
Oh no,
we're hitting record numbers. Someone said we got record numbers. Well, we got
15.
We currently have 15 in watching. Yes,
double digits.
Right. We've got Bro Paintball has just posted up this. Going back to the whole sort of MagFed thing. This Milsim / MagFed style is what I've seen the soon-to-be released MG100 receiving flack for. Apparently not looking MagFed enough. Which
I posted up on the Paintball magazine page, I think. The AR-15, was it?
Yes.
Next to the MG100. And yeah, okay, they're not identical, but, you know.
They're not far off.
I don't see... But the thing is, you've got to understand from Planet Eclipse's point of view, they're not. They are a tawny market. They predominantly make markers for the tawny market. That's what they're known for. They're known for reliability and blah 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 blah. And them dabbling in MagFed is a huge risk for them. This is partly the reason why they've gone for the die down mag, because they don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already there. Yes, you need to put in the new followers to really make it work, but they've fixed around that, and it's a nice little unit. Now, if a company like Planet Eclipse, if they took a gun and brought it to market and it flopped, it didn't work. I know they're kind of really tight on their not their finances, but I mean, if they have a gun go wrong and it flops completely, that could seriously damage the company.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the margins, that's the word I was looking for, a markup, aren't huge. People think they're rolling in money. They're really not. You know, yes, they are a successful company. They sell a lot of units, but if that gun completely flops, and I don't think it will, it could be seriously damaging. This is why they've gone for that styling. They haven't gone for a particularly Milsim body kit, because it's more money put in, it's more molding. They've used existing kit that they can get hold of, and you know, it's just, I don't see the problem with it. I just don't. The only problem I can see it is the guys that have got blowbacks that they've paid a lot of money for suddenly go, oh, well, how am I justifying the money I'm paying for this blowback when I can buy something that's more efficient, lighter, and does the job
quieter, more gentle on paint.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about using the hardest paint you can, because it's a Planet Eclipse gun. It's going to shoot. Not
the only reason you need to go for a slightly harder shell is
the springs,
because it's in a magazine.
But you know, you're not buying the toughest winter paint in summer in order to use the thing. And I just think that's part of the reason, the backlash for it. And the other point I was trying to make, sorry, I've gone on too long anyway, is the fact that that the Planet Eclipse is a UK company. Leds is obviously very at the forefront of paintball. He behind the scenes does so much work, the UK PSF, and constantly breathing down the neck. We've got the UK government, and the Violent Crimes Reduction Act, and the airsoft community obviously have their UCARA and everything in place. If you start bringing out more realistic guns into the market by a UK company, that's almost a green light to go, hey, there's a UK company producing this, there's more of them being used. We need to look at it again, because our current defense is, if you wave around a paintball gun in public, can it be identified at a glance from a real gun? And at the moment, it has a hose on the bottom, has a larger bore, and it has a hopper on top. So yes, it can. Now you take away the hopper because it's MagFed. You have a smaller bore because they will bring out a 50 cal version, I'm sure. And,
well, they're already doing that with some of the some of the MagFed markers.
Yeah, they have stuff like that. So we're getting closer and closer. And I think
that's my worry. That with
as a UK company, Leds and the guys at Planet Eclipse have they've got to protect their own interests, and they've got to protect paintball as a whole. That's just my personal kind of opinion.
No, I think that's totally right.
I think we will see third-party kits come out, and I think we will see model kits that people will 3D print that look like AKs that they're going to bolt on. That is inevitable. Third-party people will start developing those, but I don't think they'll come from Eclipse.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, effectively, that's already happening, though, isn't it? You've had kits for to make markers look more realistic since, well, like the 98, or even probably earlier than that, when people are making them themselves.
Takamo.
That's it. I mean, Takamo kits and all sorts. But even before the Takamo kit, there was stuff like for the 98. You still had to have a hopper on the top, but it made the marker itself look more realistic. But then when you start putting things like, you know, tanks and stocks, and like you said, you know, you start putting mags on and stuff as opposed to hoppers, things start getting a lot more realistic. And then you have like the T15 that was supposed to be almost a one-to-one replica. Yeah. When you start using like proper replicas, then we are heading down the route of I can see the UK paintball scene before long probably requiring something along the lines of like a UCARA. I could imagine paintball eventually, if MagFed continues to grow, UK paintball probably have to have a UCARA.
Well, this all really hangs on if the UK PSF can pass paintball as a legitimate sporting activity through work they've done with the University of Leeds, was it, or Leicester? I can't remember.
Yes, I think it was the University of Leeds.
If they get that through and Sports England do actually go, yeah, that's a legitimate sport, then there will be, seen the comments as well. I think then we'll start seeing more money come into the sport because we'll have access to those kind of things. But we'll also see more legislation come in and full protection of the sport as a whole as well. So we'll see. Sorry, I brought the whole vibe down.
Oh no. That's
Yeah.
See, look,
that's why we've got people on here, because I want to have these conversations.
Like having a proper adult on this bottle of Mad Dog 2020 live stream.
Yeah, I saw that comment. That made me laugh.
A little puppets I can play with.
What the hell was that? Oh, right.
Sorry.
What was that? What did I miss there?
Do that again?
Just diving into Snake. Like, yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Is that something that you've just done for fun, or is it something that you're planning on doing?
Well, yeah, I'm bringing out my own YouTube channel with little puppets on sticks, so I can say
yes,
that'd be good. That
so I can say borderline offensive things without getting into trouble.
It was the puppet that set it, not me.
Like the sock. Does anyone remember that YouTube channel where they had the sock that?
Yes, I remember
was it
that.
A donkey or something?
Yeah, that's it. Donkey. What happened to that? Is it still around?
Oh, I don't know.
God knows.
I think he might. I think the person who ran that might have gone around about the same sort of time as what Rob Rubin did as well.
Okay.
Because I think them two actually talked in outside of the whole sort of YouTube thing as well. But yeah, I totally forget about him. Her. Okay. That's a bit of a blast from the past.
Flashback.
Yeah.
We're just all showing our age now.
You know what it is? I'm going to look that up.
Dexter's just a young pup.
What do you mean?
And he's Dex. And so is Chan.
Chan is, Dex isn't.
I'm not exactly.
Chan's the baby.
Chan's just sitting there, just taking it all in.
Yeah.
He's Silent Bob.
Silent Bob, yeah.
Sometimes I kind of wonder if Chan just doesn't know how to take things like this.
He's just sitting there going,
what are these guys blithering on about?
Yep.
Right. He's basically all he's doing is counting the time down, the time down between the next pump mention.
Somebody's put here the Chan's just turned down sex talk for the U-lot.
Only down sex to talk to us, lot. Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. He has had some pretty strange facial expressions a few times. I don't know if he has actually turned the sex down.
That was a big sign. I'll be hitting on there.
Oh dear.
Sorry, Dex will bring his invisible dog in a minute.
Yeah.
I was actually trying to film. I was trying to film for a video earlier on.
Not a dog. Any pictures of it? He's just borrowed it from someone else.
It's my next door neighbours. Yeah.
It's just a sock puppet. Right. Next topic. Seeing as I killed that last one.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, obviously, if
you just brought it down to earth.
I do think the conversations. If they go one way, then that's how they go. And I quite like that because it means that it's a little bit unexpected. The responses are more natural as opposed to being rehearsed.
Oh no,
16. It's going up. 17.
They've all just come for Martello.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Got my cool T-shirt on today as well. Just want to show you my boobs.
Just trying to read some of it.
Gassy says he's just paid for Nicky T's kids' next pair of shoes. The email has just landed. I'm assuming that means that Patreon money's just gone out.
Yes, mine
He's
went
also
out
said
earlier.
that if I'm playing in a tactical thong, he wants to be the other side of the field to me. He doesn't want to try and watch that move up the field.
That's the point. I'm gonna go see how many.
You wouldn't want to be behind it, would you?
Shaking that ass from across the other end of the field.
Oh no, I can't log in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore that.
Right, Tony Fullerton says from the end of
Chan's
the
in the doghouse.
Chan's in the doghouse.
Yeah, that's what somebody just put.
Madhouse.
No, definitely Chan's in the doghouse.
Right, I actually think this one could be interesting. Tony Fullerton says from the end of the stick that who's been on the wrong end of all of the Magfed paintball gear police, speaking to me, saying they wouldn't know the difference from the distance they deal with. Well, this is it, and I think I pointed out on actually it might have been the stream where I talked about Tony's incident, where there was actually a little while ago where. And well, it was probably a couple of years ago now, where there was two young lads walking down the street and they were being followed by a camera. And the armed response unit pulls up, coppers jump out, hands on they draw their weapons, they point them at these two kids. And one of them, his first response is, he reaches inside his jacket and starts pulling out a pistol. And it was a BB gun. And I think the kid realized what he was doing and dropped it. And apparently that copper had actually been in the process of pulling the trigger.
Good.
Apparently the guy who was talking about it in the interview or whatever it was said that the lad was like 2 millimeters from death.
Christ.
And that's because the police they're not coming up and investigating it and having a look at it and then going, yeah, it's a real gun, and then shooting you. They see you pull something that looks like a real gun, and they've got to respond in the way that it's going to mean that they get to go home that night. So that's obviously where our reasonable defense has come from for so long. On that, yes, our gear, it has hopper on the top, it has a big air tank on the back. They're generally quite often bright colours. So you've got all that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I had a group of police officers come to off duty, obviously, play down a site I was working at years ago, and they were just chatting to them casually, like, would you know a paintball gun if someone like shoved one in your face in the line of duty? And he goes, yeah, of course we would. We're trained to tell the difference. And then I went and got my A5 Takamo AK-47, which I owned at the time, out the car, and said, what about that? And he just went, no, that would get you shot. Yeah. I went, what, shoot to disable? No, he goes, no, they'd shoot to like kill you. You know, you're gonna be waving that around. Yeah. I was like, okay. So he didn't know that there were paintball guns that looked like that. He just did. He was a police officer. He just didn't know. It's just
this is it, and this is what I've been saying for quite a while about people need to be careful with with the gear that they have, because most people's perception of paintball is what you experience when you go for a rental day, and those things, for the vast part, don't look like real guns. They're generally, you get things like the Tippmann 98, who doesn't look like a real gun. Even if you take the hopper off and the tank off the back, it doesn't look like a real gun.
Well, a little bit, but not so much.
That's it. Possibly that thing. It looks a bit more like an Uzi. But then the other common one that sites had were the Infernos. Yeah, a big chunk of shiny silver metal that it really doesn't look like a real gun. But then when you start getting into the root of the Magfed gear, yes, it does. And it's unfortunate, but that's what it does.
Mr. Martello wanted to talk about Patreon.
Yes. Go on, Martello, if you would like to give a shout out to your Patreon, feel free.
I have a Patreon. It's really quiet at the moment because I'm doing 25,000 things. That
blue lights, they're coming to take you away.
Was that here? Was it? Was that me? As soon as I mentioned Patreon, they were on to me. Scammer, get him. But yeah, I mean, we do have a few things up on there at the moment. Obviously, anyone that's booking in for our Reds versus Blues game gets a £5 off the ticket if they're on Patreon.
Very nice.
We got some mugs being printed up by Titan Wolf Printing, which will be available on there for Patreons as well at discount.
Very nice.
We've also got our Dogfighter series headbands. I don't know if anyone saw those.
Yes,
we printed
I
up
really
a load
like
of limited Spitfire, Messerschmitt, kind of World War II fighters really.
Yeah.
We got those coming up on there as well. We haven't got them in stock yet, but we're hopefully going to get those in the next couple of weeks.
Can I just ask what the price is on the headbands?
They're 25, I think,
Right.
20 through Patreon. So it's a $5 off if you're on the Patreon. And you can be on any level Patreon as well. So you can pay like 70p a month and you'll still get the $5 off. So
very nice.
Even if you jump on, pay your 70p and get a £4.20 off, you bastard, and then cancel it. There's not really much I can do, is there? But
you've told them what to do now, Martello. You should get that quiet.
On your conscience. I mean, the tiers we've got on Patreon, we've kind of tongue-in-cheek literally named them the packet of crisps tier and the pint down the pub tier, because that's pretty much what it is. It's like if you enjoy any of the online content we produce, or we've done you a favor in the past, or whatever. I mean, sometimes people go, hey, can I have this photo from 4 years ago? Have you got it? And I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, what do I owe you? And I'm like, just like, if you can just pledge to Patreon, like literally 70p a month, you're not really going to miss it, but it does really help.
Oh yeah,
like rack up. If people go on there and see we got like 20 Patreons, they're like, yeah. Whereas if they see you got 200 Patreons, it's like, oh, okay. And we also want to get the magazine into a position where we can afford and have the time to be able to produce a quarterly or even monthly, God forbid, magazine. But just simply can't do that. I mean, if everyone on our Facebook that gave us a like could buy a magazine, that's over 11,000 people. That'd be really, really nice. But if half of those people pledge 70p, that's I could actually just do it full time and not have to worry about feeding the kids and stuff like that. So I mean, I think especially in the early days of the magazine, a lot of people would send us messages like we were this huge company. We weren't just like a load of goons knocking around in a van every weekend, trying not to get shot and give out ourselves alcohol poisoning. And I think maybe that's a reflection of the magazine as it is, and I think certainly now it's a very polished product. There's still a few mistakes and things that sneak in, but people kind of think, oh yeah, that's a big company that they kind of have all this money to do all these things, buy all these products in, and look, they're off to Prague or they're off to here. The fact that I'm eating like beans out of a shoe with a comb, sleeping on someone. I mean, one event I had to sleep in the same bed as Gomi.
Oh, God.
Nice.
Oh, did he actually shut up in his sleep?
No.
I can imagine you can talk in his sleep as well.
But, it's not.
Shuts up.
It's just it's just if people can support us, it really goes a long way to helping us. But we do
post a link in the chat. Post a link in the chat.
Well, if anyone is actually interested, there is a link in the description that'll take you to the Paintball Mag's website. Because I'm giving that shout out, there is also links to other to basically all of the hosts' social medias on in the description down below as well. But yeah, guys, go check out the Paintball Mag, support it, and hopefully there will actually come a day when we will get the Paintball Mag being released every month, which I think would be awesome. I think that'd be fantastic to see.
There's two Airsoft magazines that are posted monthly.
Yes.
We actually had a chat with distributor and with W.H. Smiths, my partner Amanda, got a hold of them and kind of set it up. We sent them sample copies. They absolutely loved it. Of course they were. We're going to give them money. They have to stock it. They have to put it on an investment of like 6 to 8 grand to launch a magazine nationwide. 6 to 8 grand of our money that we got to stump up front in the knowledge that we might not even sell one copy. Are there enough people playing paintball in the UK that will go into a shop and buy a physical magazine?
Yeah.
I know I would, but I'm one out of many.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, if it was on a shelf and I was in a shop, I probably would buy it.
I mean, it's just the fact that from our point of view, we keep going with the magazine. We're not going to give up on it because we are truly passionate about what we do. And it's just a case of if we could get it into the shops, it'd be absolutely fantastic. But we're not willing to take that risk at the moment. When you've got guys that you are literally, hey, you are in this magazine. Look, you are there. Do you want to buy it? And they're like, hey, all right. Oh, what can you do with that? You're like, but you're in it. And they're like, I don't care. So all people come up and go, hey, but when it comes out to print, all the reviews are like, I've read them all. They're all online. I haven't got an argument for that, which is part of the reason why we're trying to update the website. It went through an overhaul. We're going to try and introduce a blog. But again, it's all time taken out of our real days that we can't afford to put money into it at the moment when we literally got to put food on the table and do other stuff elsewhere. So, yes, it's I don't want to moan too much or anything like that because I think we're in a fantastic position now where I can go to places like CPPS and actually earn almost a living wage because not only am I there for 2 days taking photos, but I've got to drive there from Cornwall. Now that's my fault for living in the arse end of nowhere. That's no one else's fault at all. But I've got to drive there and drive back, obviously. But I got like 3-4 days of just sitting in front of a computer, stabbing a pen into my thigh to stop myself screaming because it's yet another paintballer stood behind a bunker. And you just got to sit there and literally edit just for 4 days, just sat in front of the computer. Oh my God.
Can I ask then, is that why you like taking photos of me? Because I don't stand behind the bunkers.
No, you jump on, is it Chan's back and charge towards the enemy?
That was the other way around. I'm afraid I might have actually crushed Chan.
Chan's all right, but he's not that strong.
Yeah.
But, we've built up the magazine now where I mean, if I go back 6 years ago, I was going to these events for free, out of my own pocket, learning how to take pictures, and and now I'm in a position where I can kind of go, it's this much money, and if you don't want it, don't buy it. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to haggle. That's taken a very long time to get to. But I mean, it's in a fantastic position where we are. Now we need to push the actual physical magazine and try and get it into the shops, which is the next big step. But as part of that, if you guys can give me money for doing nothing, then that's absolutely brilliant as well. But that's part of the reason why we're trying to do the podcast, which we'll come on to probably later, because there's been a lack of those. And we started the podcast. We got the website going. We're going to try and do some live streaming. We tried to set up a 7 Days to Die server, but nobody likes the game, so we might be changing that to Rust.
Right.
So we might be setting up our own Paintball Magazine clan and on Rust Steam and things like that for people to join in. And trying to do little things like that, like live streaming at events and bits and pieces. But again, it's one guy can only do so much, and I need other guys to come in and help me out. And then those guys need accommodation, they need paying, they need, so it kind of snowballs, Stop moaning.
Cheap.
We've got Gassy is asking, have you got any of the World War II plain headbands left, namely the 01?
01? None have come in yet. That's we're waiting for them. Yes, we do. We have the 01. Which one's the 01?
I'm not totally sure. I mean, personally like. It would make sense that would be the Japanese one.
The Mustang.
Red Spot.
Fishy. Yes.
Here we go with the name.
Mitsubishi. A Mustang from Japan.
They reverse engineer everything. You know this.
See, I quite like the Spitfire one because then I can sit on stream with the headband on and drink bottles of Spitfire because no fucker comes close.
Yeah. Fucker.
Fucker.
Yeah.
Enunciate properly.
Is that because we're now after 9 o'clock? You know, swearing. Yeah.
That wasn't a swear. The Fokker
No.
was a German plane.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Mitsubishi one. Yeah, we also got the we got a Yak Russian, although it wasn't actually a Yak livery. It was taken off.
Yeah.
It was something else, but it was unpronounceable, so I just changed it.
Fair enough.
And then we got the Red Baron one, which isn't technically World War II, really, is it? But I had to put it in there.
Well, it's World War One. It's World
It's
War.
close enough, yeah. It was something to do with like planes, so it's close enough.
Flying around shooting each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, we will have a few. We basically printed off enough to cover the pre-orders. We were going to do a pre-order only, but I did add on a few dozen because I just know people. They're just like, oh yeah, I'll buy that if it's there. So
Yeah, that's me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pre-order it because that would just make too much sense.
But you see, quite often I'm just like, I get to an event and I'm kind of like, if I don't eat anything tonight, I can buy this. So I'll
And you
buy
never
it.
don't eat.
Well, no, you see, what I have a habit of doing is like,
Out the back of McDonald's searching for their bins.
yeah, peeling.
No,
the-
he just uses their Wi-Fi.
Ha! There's been no problems from my end tonight.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Strictly speaking, I ought to have a Lancaster Bomber one, but I bet there isn't one of them
Yet.
yet.
Delivery the same? I can't remember. It's just like
It's probably very similar to the Spitfire, to be fair.
they have roundels. I mean, I suppose you could put the Lancaster like exhausts on the side or something like that. Did they have exhaust? I'm pretty sure. They
4
had
props.
4 props. Oh yeah, we could actually attach 4 props to the headband that actually spin around.
That'd be
Oh,
awesome.
don't give Dexter ideas.
Give you extra.
It doesn't take.
Who needs instead of a mask fan, you've got 4 fans on your headband.
I'm very suggestible.
Yeah, don't give him any ideas. He's terrible.
Do you reckon
The
you
only
get,
problem with this is it means that Chan's got more work to do.
do you reckon we could get
Yeah.
like one of those?
Chan, can you?
Do you reckon you get like a propeller hat, and every time it gets shot, it spins?
Look at his
Little
face.
wind.
His face fits it all there, doesn't he?
Yep.
I need to turn my light on. It's got very dark all of a sudden. Hang on,
No worries.
I'll be back. Don't say mean things whilst I'm gone.
Ooh, I can't guarantee anything. I'm trying to see if I've got anything else.
The comments. Not really.
Rich does say that he can't remember the last time he was in a WH Smith's or even looked at a mag shelf in the supermarket. You know what it is?
Is that top shelf?
Yeah, it could be top shelf. I quite like having paper copies of stuff, so I'll look at magazines that have nothing to do with anything that I'm interested in. It's I mean,
Airports. It's
What?
waiting for a plane. It's getting on public transport. That's where you buy magazines.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
But,
totally agree with that.
yeah. But yeah,
I
if
always end up buying a magazine for one flight.
Yeah.
yeah.
24-hour flight to America. Razzle.
I mean, just I quite like having my
Oh, it's
physical.
moving.
Quite like having my physical media. So just to
Yes. Yeah.
sort of explain that is that is my
Mm-hmm. A DVD collection.
Blu-ray collection.
Yeah.
Do you want to see my Laserdisc collection?
Laserdiscs.
Yeah, I've got a massive Laserdisc collection.
Yeah, if you can.
This is-
Yeah, go on.
Go,
Make me
go.
sound
So that's
really
God.
bad, but what on earth is a Laserdisc?
fuck's sakes.
you
Hang on. Be back.
never seen one before,
Is
like,
this
Colin?
like Betamax?
Well, we'll wait till Martel brings one up.
I've heard
Colin,
of
what
VH
are you actually doing?
Richie Wong says,
Please tell me
back
you're
in the
not
day,
going to the
PGI was king.
Saying Colin's moving about. Please tell me he's not going to the toilet.
I'm just shutting the door.
The bath was bad enough a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Did any of you watch Battlefield Friends when it was an animated series? I think it was actually a Machinima series.
No, Battlefield. No.
Basically, it was a cartoon series that was all about people playing Battlefield, and there was one of the episodes where they were talking about like there was this really good guy on the game, and just in the background you could hear him shitting in a bucket, just like didn't have to leave his computer.
Great.
Yep.
So this is
It's cutting edge technology.
Yeah.
It was back in the day.
For about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
but mass.
Giant CD.
Yep.
That's
Was
dust
was
to dawn.
Yep. When they thought that DVDs were going to be the size of LPs.
Yeah, pretty much. This Laserdisc was a thing that was around, I suppose, mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
Which I thought was gonna. It was like the CD Betamax kind of, VHS Betamax wars. So you had Laserdisc and like DVD, and obviously DVD won because you didn't have to.
Yeah.
These you had to turn over halfway through,
Yeah.
and it had all the quality of VHS on a huge vinyl record.
Yeah.
Well, not vinyl.
Richie Wong says Jurassic Park on 4 sides.
Yeah, I got Jurassic Park. I got Tom Cruise's
God.
Mission Impossible.
Nice.
Jeez.
I got Alien 3.
Alien 3, was that the one in the prison?
Worth something
One in the prison. Alien Resurrection.
in a few times.
Alien Resurrection's the one where Sigourney Weaver's brought back and
Yes.
she's got alien DNA.
Original Alien.
Alien
Nice.
3 is
On
the one where
Nostromo.
she crash lands
Yeah.
she crash lands on the prison planet, which was filmed 5 miles away from where I live.
And it was awful.
The opening scene
Well,
of
that
Alien
explains,
3
explains a lot, Albert.
is
Far away from
and walk. Well, Dexter, you're from round this area, so you'll probably give an idea of where I'm at. Seaham?
Yep.
Heard it?
Yeah.
Yep. The opening scenes of Alien 3 was filmed on Seaham Beach.
Yep.
They didn't just do films, they did TV series as well. Like,
God, can you imagine how many
Star Trek.
imagine how many discs that would have taken up?
Cutthroat Island. Oh, that's an awful film.
Now, the question is, have you actually got anything that can still play these?
Yeah, I got my Pioneer Laserdisc player somewhere. Natural Born Killers. Good film.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a good film.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yep. Can't beat the Tarantino.
And the best Batman.
Yeah.
Obviously, Val Kilmer was the
Yep.
best Batman. Everyone knows that Val Kilmer was
Of course. That was the one where they had the nipples on the
No.
body armor, wasn't it?
No.
What was that?
I do remember it being a truly awful film.
Because that's the one where it actually had Poison Ivy in it, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had Poison
Yes.
Ivy, Joker.
The Joker, yeah, Jim Carrey, and Two-Face.
Yeah.
God's a lot of dust on this. But
No, Jim
literally
Carrey was Riddler.
Riddler.
Yeah, yeah,
You're right.
And Tommy Lee Jones was Two-Face.
yes.
And
That's-
it seems to be a very
well, that
bad
was-
Robin.
Yeah, he actually
Yeah.
had the purple sort of suit, didn't he?
He's in that TV program now, isn't he? That NSI.
CSI.
CSI. Yeah. No, CSI. When
NCIS?
that's the one. Yeah. Robin is now in that.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Don't know.
The guy off Robin in that film is now one of the lead characters in that.
As you can probably tell, I don't know.
NCIS.
I'm gonna have to look this up because I'm quite a big fan of NCIS, but I am quite behind on it as well.
Someone's asked,
You know the
Yeah, man, it's NCIS New Orleans or
No.
NCIS Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Oh, right, yeah, I like the original NCIS.
All right.
someone's asked what a good camera for media at paintball is.
That repels paintballs.
Yeah, I don't think
No, that yeah. I bet you wouldn't mind one of them, would you?
Yeah,
yeah. Nice. I would say in answer to your question, who did ask that question?
It's Poseidon. Poseidon Martello. What is a good camera for media or paintball?
Whatever you can afford. Like
I would.
Oh,
Sorry.
I would have.
My chair's caught on something.
Yeah, no worries.
oh, don't do a Dexter. He broke his chair last week.
Yeah, I'm on a new chair now. I would just to kind of interject in that one. I would probably say it's something that you can afford to replace.
No.
Something that
if I could afford to replace it, I wouldn't have anything.
Yeah, well, yeah. There is an argument to be made there.
It's basically for cameras. The actual camera body is not really. It does help, but it's the lens that's really what you're after. You can have a fairly basic DSLR, and you know if you've got a kit lens on it, you're not going to get good photos. You really need a decent 70 to 200 lens. Now these are going to set you back secondhand. You really want to. I don't know. You want to, 70 to 200 mil. They're about 800 quid, I think.
Ow!
Yeah.
That's second hand.
Getting on figures.
You really want a 2.8. You can get a larger f-stop, but you really want the lower end if you can. This seems to be a pretty basic setup from paintball photographers as 70 to 200. I do see photographers with a secondary as well. Our secondary at the moment has another 70 to 200 on it. So you can imagine that, that's my first camera, which is a Nikon D90. Perfectly good little camera. Upgraded that to the D500 a couple of years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically get a decent lens and get a half decent camera because the lens really is going to make your photography so much clearer over the best camera body that's available on the market. So whatever camera suits your budget really. But it's like paintball guns as well. It's like someone says, "What's the best paintball gun?" Don't know.
That's subjective.
Yeah. What do you want to use? Do you want to use Nikon? Do you want to use Sony? Do you want to use mirrorless? Do you want to use DSLR? Are you using 35mm film? If you are, you're an idiot. But you're not an idiot at all. Medium format, Hasselblad or something like that. $4,000 worth of camera sat on the start gate. But it's get a half decent body, even if it's secondhand, and splurge your money on the lens and just take it from there. Really, that's I would say.
I suppose if you do want to get into paintball photography, going secondhand would be a good place to start. And then you're not splashing out new equipment money, but I would definitely guess that it's going to be an expensive thing to do. Although at the same time, you can also, I suppose, walk to your local park and take photos and shoot things with your camera, and people aren't gonna call the police.
I think they might.
Well, it depends on what you're taking photos of. When I say park, I'm talking like not places where people are necessarily playing. I'm talking places where there's birds and stuff.
I mean, if you're taking up photography as a hobby anyway, then if you're taking up paintball photography to earn a living, nah.
Don't do it.
There's not enough games on to warrant a full-time kind of profession. As it were. I think if I didn't have the magazine, I wouldn't be doing paintball photography. Really, it's simple as that. Really, the only reason I started doing it is because I needed photos for the magazine, and I couldn't afford to pay a photographer to go to the events, so I had to do it myself.
I don't think there's any full-time paintball photographers in the UK at all.
No, I don't think so.
Just paintball, no. I know the guys at Goldfish Photography used to do a lot of reenactment stuff, historical reenactment and cars. I know there's a lot in the sort of racetrack days and stuff like that. But again, I've chatted to Rich at Soho. and he said he explains to some of his friends who do photography for car events or skiing, mountain biking, stuff like that. And he tells them what he does, puts on a mask, has to look through the mask and then the lens and then bag protection, gets shot at, and then how much he makes. And they just go like, why are you doing it so cheap?
Yeah.
Just, It just comes down to, again, I'm not going to moan about it. I'm not going to whinge about it because people hear me moan enough, but we generally don't pay a lot of money for our media in this country.
Yeah. Well, I believe it was actually Rich Weidenbach that I've talked to about media, like paintball photography before. And he was saying that, I'm sorry if I'm getting the wrong person, but I'm pretty sure it was him. And he was saying that when you actually look at airsofters will pay like over £10 for a single photo, and you've got paintballers that they want to pay like £1 an image. Now, yes, obviously, as a consumer, I want to get things as cheap as I possibly can, but I also understand that people have got to put food on the table and things as well.
That kind of calls back to what we were saying earlier about milsim side of things, and the fact that some of the guys play to reenact to look like they are real soldiers of fortune or whatever, and they're going to be paying money to make sure that happens. And I actually saw Ash put up a post today under the Hidden Hedgehog page about trigger control, saying he hates it when he takes a photo and their fingers are or aren't on the trigger. And I was like, well, okay, if you're a reenactor, then that's fair enough, but it's paintball, it's not, it's not reenactment. So you kind of got that real in-depth replica milsim side of things who will pay more money for it because it's what they're about. They want to look the real deal. They want to look as real as possible, and they want to show that off, and they'll get nice pictures of that. Paintballers, I guess their priority when they're at an event is to have fun, and to shoot people, and they're not really that fussed about necessarily what they look like. I mean, look at half of us, we're not Adonis figures.
Well, speak for yourself.
Hey, my buddy's a temple. I'm a Buddha.
Just being disconnected. But I think it comes back to that. It really does come back to, hey, look at me. Don't I look cool? And I will pay money for someone to make me look cool. And again, I knew a photographer who took pictures of mountain bike events, and he used to Photoshop an extra couple of inches of air on the bikes going over the humps, and he used to charge like 20-30 quid for the pleasure of doing that.
But
the guys can post up on their Facebook page, hey, look at this air on it. And it's not, it's photoshopped, but he did such a good job that the guys would pay for it.
So.
That's why all the photos of me on my bike don't look like I've got in the air.
But you're not paying the right guy.
But you see, Colin, I blame the reason why it doesn't look like you've got much air on the fact that there is a hell of a lot of like you plus bike to get into the air. I mean, when you do mountain biking, and I don't mean that to be insult. I mean, when you do, and you are a big guy to start with, and you ride a fat bike like most normal people ride a normal push bike. Fat bikes aren't designed for jumping.
Of course they are. They've got two wheels.
Fat bikes are designed to be used as flotation devices.
Well, it should fly better then.
No. Fly through water. Talking of the Hidden Hedgehogs post, though, can we actually just say, can we go back to that for just a second? Do you not think the whole sort of...
We have to.
Be nice. It's not necessarily his post, it's more the subject
of being
nice. It's more the subject of the trigger control aspect of it. Do you not think that actually depends on the circumstances of the staged photo? Because I believe he was talking primarily about staged photos.
Completely. I mean, Ash is a really, really talented guy when it comes to producing the videos he does. Absolutely fantastic. Some of the artwork he comes out with for posters and things, I mean, they're straight off a cover of any computer game, and,
Yes.
and he replicates that fantastically.
Mhm.
And
That's
that
it, yeah.
really does. I mean, that you can't fault it.
Mhm.
And yeah, if he wants to take those pictures to recreate those kind of
Mhm.
that kind of fantasy world, for
Mm-hmm.
lack of a better word, of that kind of image of paintball, then if it gets more people into sport, then brilliant. But yeah, I don't see that it makes that much difference to paintball in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree that it doesn't really make that much difference to paintball, but it's more the sort of what I was getting at. It's the context of the photo. If it's and I mean that in like, if it's the context of it's just a soldier out patrolling, well then they wouldn't necessarily have a finger on a trigger. If it's a soldier who was in the middle of a firefight, then they would have a finger on the trigger. It's
if it's a staged photo, then you staged a photo.
Yes, yeah.
You know, you ask your model to do a certain pose. I mean,
yeah.
You, as a photographer, I think you can immediately spot staged photos.
Yeah.
You can just see from the way people are holding their equipment, the way the people are looking. You know, you can just go, yeah, that's kind of staged. And
there's that quite famous meme, isn't there, with Aztecs in it?
Aztec wolf.
Oh look, photographer, and everyone's all shooting in the same direction.
Yeah. And it does happen 110%. And I try and ask people not to do it because it just looks unnatural. Because everyone's pointing in slightly a different direction. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. But I mean, I've had people say that.
Yeah.
Do you remember in one of the Paintball magazine center spreads, I had Shelley Farmer on the bottom with a DM3, I think it was, DM5, I can't remember, a Speeble gun in a Speeble setup. Then above her was Ash of Hidden Hedgehog with his sniper. And that was just purely by chance. I didn't ask either of them to stage that. They were just playing together naturally at Northwest itself. And I thought, that make a good photo. And I took like 50, 60 photos of them playing. They were aware that there was a photographer there, but I didn't ask them to stage it. I didn't ask them to set it up. And, you know, Shelley was only there for 2 minutes, then ran off, and Ash went up to the top floor of the building to get better shots on people.
Yeah.
So I was just in the right place at the right time to take that photo. And it does kind of rile me when people go, that was staged. You obviously ask both of them to wander out into the field and do that.
Yeah.
I generally don't, I don't think I've ever staged a photo apart from when it's a team all standing there with their guns up.
Yeah.
And even to the point where the photo that you've got behind you and I've got behind me now.
Yes.
I've had people say that that's a composite of two separate images, and you know, it's
come on.
And you get it all the time. Those kind of, but yeah, if you're going to stage a photo for photoshopping for a cover for a game or something like that, then and pay attention to the what you want to do. If the finger needs to be on the trigger, then the finger needs to be on the trigger. If you know, the player needs to be wearing the right coloured camo for that period, then he wears the right color camo for that period. Otherwise it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. So if you're going to stage the photo properly. But I don't think you should go along to a paintball game and expect everyone to start doing things in the right way with the right trigger and everything. How many who here can raise up their hand and say, I have been shot in the kidneys from 2 foot away by some numpty with a really sensitive eye on from about literally an inch? You know, we've all had it. We've been shot, either shot ourselves or shot someone else because, you know, we've knocked the trigger or something.
You got sensitive guns,
but we don't treat paintball markers like real guns.
So I was just laughing at one of the comments.
But this, I mean, the whole idea of I think the idea of like trying to set up photos on a field, it's not an easy one anyway. I mean, there was, I think it was at one point during North versus South, you won, me and some of the other guys from Nest, and you said, Howie, I'll take your photo. So we're all kind of trying to look cool near a door, and some random guy just walked up and sat in the middle of the doorway between us.
I think that was me, wasn't it? That was at North versus South. Sorry, I was reading the comments on. He just sat there. It's like, okay.
It's like, well, then why not? How you get the photo with it? It's like, I like things being spontaneous. I like things to be on the fly, again, to go like mentioning Rich Weidenbar, but there was, I think it was Paintfest, probably around about 2015, where he gave us wrong because every time he tried to take photos, I was running away. And he did actually catch a couple of good pictures of like me and some of the other guys from Nest, and there's one I've used on. In fact, it's generally the photo that I use for our Wednesday night live stream, where we're all in sort of different positions. Of I'm crouched as I'm just setting off to run, and you've got some of the guys shooting in the meantime as well. But it wasn't a stage photo. It was right in the action, and it was just. I don't know how many photos he took, but to get that sort of one good photo before I ran away again, I appreciate it must be a really difficult job to be a photographer and actually get photos that make people look good.
Well, especially making you
the
look
impossible sort. Yeah. Beat me to it.
But it's something that I do massively appreciate, because when I can come back and I can go, look, ma'am, look, that's me. It's something that always puts a smile on my face when I look through its like event photos and I see good pictures of us. And even then,
I get excited if I see any pictures of me.
Yeah, but that's generally because you're behind the enemy team, Colin.
True.
I have no idea how someone that is so tall can appear behind the enemy.
He has ways.
Yeah. But,
I managed it at speed.
That's exactly what I mean.
I managed it at speed and barrel tag Ollie with.
Yes, with the trumpet. The blunderbuss. Yep.
Oh dear.
Richie says not enough Vaseline for the lens, in reference to taking photos of me. Thank you very much, Richie. We haven't gotten quite to the point of us taking their scantily clad photos yet. Although I can't even say that because there's also photos of us with my pants down at events.
Not that big.
What?
I heard it was like throwing a sausage up the M1.
What stays in the van? What happens in the van stays in the van, isn't that right?
Man down.
What I've heard.
I heard.
Yeah. If Nest's vans are rocking, don't come a knocking.
Well, I can't say anything. I'm normally asleep, so I have. If I'm asleep, I have no say on what happens in the van. Although, something. Well, I'll leave
Richie
that one
wants
for
to know
another
if
time.
Chan's dropped acid. Where is Chan anyhow?
He's just not
There he
talking.
is.
Silent Bob has been silent
today.
I'm getting wrong here. I've been told to leave Richie's van alone.
But I must admit, the van is very comfortable for to have on a weekend.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, damn right, mate. Damn right.
Sleep fire roofies.
What was that, Jan? Sorry?
Richie's just said asleep via roofies.
Hey, and naps and that.
No, that's when you're in the van. That happens in the van in the roofies.
No, we don't need roofies.
It's all consensual in that van.
Well, that's what we like to say about our victims.
Camping is for scruffs. I'm going to shoot you, Gassy, when we get to the next paintball event.
That's why you have to eat vindaloos on paintball events away, don't you? It's just for that extra layer of protection, just in case you do get roofied.
Oh.
No one wants to go in with chili ready, do they?
Oh.
Remember that. Wise men always think ahead.
No, you say that. It was at MVP. Was it like 2 years ago now? Where there was me, Chan, Richie, and Rich all walked down into the nearby town and went and had ourselves a curry. And the next morning, Rich was that rank that me and Chan were hanging out the windows, retching. It was vile. I don't think there's.
Well, that story didn't end with any kind of violation. I was waiting, for that, and it really, really burnt for ages.
No,
It was put the tip in.
You've heard of ring
no.
sting.
Yeah.
No.
And he says that we were welcome for that.
Sorry.
Although I do believe that was probably revenge for me stinking the place out on the night time beforehand. So yeah. And Richie Wong says nothing as vile as his toilet trip that morning. Which again, I must compliment Richie on his arse orchestra that morning.
When did we go from paintball to this?
It happens every day, every time. It lowers the tone.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
The tone's never been high.
Yeah.
With a bar set this low.
Yeah, you can't fail. Can't fail.
And also, yes, indeed, I did. Thank you very much for that. Poseidon says, might go to sleep because he was awake all night last night revising. Poseidon, if you have your exams on, this live stream will be viewable after the fact. So
It's also
go
this
get some
live
sleep.
stream is educational.
You don't need to revise
Yeah,
for
he just
exams.
if he's taking exams, he doesn't want to be watching this shite.
Although, you know, we do have the Chandy Man, and the Chandy Man can. So the Chandy Man can
Ew.
rig his exams, I'm sure.
We were up to 18 at one point. 18 people actually watching us. Bloody hell.
I want to
Yes,
know
but
what
I think
he's taking, whether we can impart any wisdom and help him out.
Yes, Poseidon. What exam are you taking?
God help him if he's asking us for wisdom.
Maintain 16 people watching. That's very good.
Mm-hmm. Ripper says he was rough in the van this year at Speed.
Yeah,
Yes.
you was.
Yes, Ripper. I know. I was in genuine fear that you were going to fart and follow through into my boots at one point.
Oh no!
No.
The nicest way that I could put it was I woke up to him diving out of the van, and he was winking at us while facing the opposite direction.
Oh, nice. This is why I have a one-man tent.
This is why I sleep in my car so I can lock the door.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Anyway,
Well, I guess what Tony put one of it. He said something about being next to using Speed last year.
yeah.
I had the unfortunate enough to camp next to Reaper's van last year at Speed, a sight that I want to but cannot get out of my mind.
Yeah. Can also say Paul has said education is important, but paintball is important. Indeed.
Wonder.
Yes.
Don't need exams to adult.
Well, yeah. In all fairness, you don't really, do you? I mean, I'm managing badly, but I'm managing.
Barely.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ripper says it looks like if he's got a one-man van. Well, no. Even if you are farting, I can just get a gas mask. I believe you can
External air feed.
I'm pretty sure.
Have them little things that you get in planes, emergency oxygen mask drop down.
Just a gimp mask with a hose leading out the window.
Did
No,
any of you see that poster I put up of the Hammer 7 that was lever fed?
Yeah, the
No,
lever
I
action.
didn't.
The lever action Hammer
I
7.
did-
Yes, I loved
yeah.
it.
I'm sure I put that up. I'm sure I put that up for people to see.
You probably did. I've probably just missed it.
It was a different way of doing the lever action, which I thought was quite good. It was on the actual pistol grip handle, but he'd turned the pistol grip in the opposite direction, so it was facing
Alright.
at an angle away.
All
What's
right.
that?
I have no idea.
Just me or just somebody here laughing there?
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Maybe the live stream's haunted.
She's sitting watching a film on with wireless headphones, giggling away,
All right.
and now
All
just
right.
caught her attention.
What?
Yes,
He's getting told off.
they were asking who was laughing.
Alright.
I was telling them it was you.
Yeah. Thought that the live stream was haunted for a moment there. I know I am now sitting in what is mostly a darkened room, and I have been watching House on Haunted. The Hill.
Get it out.
Get your words out.
The Hill House Haunting or something like that.
The House on Haunted Hill.
It's not House on Haunted Hill. It's like it's a Netflix TV show.
Hill Haunted House.
It's something like that. Yes.
A hill
yes.
haunted house. A house that's been haunted by a hill.
You never know with Netflix. Some of the shite they produce.
Ooh, I'm a mountain. Hey, get out.
I was thinking, oh, I've got Vikings inside of us, but that could be
That's specialist. We're going to get that on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Raided.
Going back to stuff.
Yeah.
Things to said, chuck Ripper in a tent and then lock the van doors. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be fair to chuck him out of his own van. Although I was tempted to go sleep in the awning, so
Music exam. Just study for music exams. Just
everything's done.
and call it New Wave.
Just put your headphones in and listen to a load of really good music.
What a go! I win.
So that'll be nothing that's produced today then.
No, nothing post like 2006.
Oh, definitely.
Yes,
Makes me laugh when me son's 13 and he's mad on Oasis.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I was more of a
Well,
blur.
in all fairness, it is better than most of the stuff that's made now.
Yeah.
Debatable.
At least it's
Has he
actual
heard of-
real music.
You introduced
Yeah.
the Beatles yet? It'll blow his mind.
Oh God, not the Beatles. I cannot stand the Beatles.
Right, you can't stand the Beatles, but you like Oasis.
I never said I liked Oasis. I said that it was real music.
You're listening to the wrong Beatles albums, obviously.
Just anything by the Beatles is just.
So
Give us some.
who do you listen to then, Dex?
Well, I like some of this.
Miley Cyrus, probably.
Miley
No,
Cyrus.
I can't say I'm into Miley Cyrus, but I am a really big fan of K-pop.
You wish you were in the Miley Cyrus.
Oh,
No,
Oh no.
No.
We're not going that way, are we? Oh,
no,
God.
no, just no.
K-pop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Damn it.
Korean pop.
I read a very interesting an article.
Honestly, you're dropping in my.
no, I
Dex.
love the Prodigy, and in all honesty,
So
the Prodigy are one of my favorite
Style
bands.
was Dex's jam.
What was that, Colin?
Gangnam Style was your jam.
Ah,
I went to see these guys the other day who got signed.
Yeah,
CD.
nice. I saw the. So I saw you
what's that?
posting some
I missed that.
photos.
What was that? I missed it. What was that?
If you've ever
What did
watched
you go and see?
Taskmaster, Alex Horn.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got the horn section, like a
All right,
comedy
yeah.
jazz kind
He's
of.
been on Countdown. 8 out of
Yeah.
10 Cat's Countdown.
He's been on various.
Never mind the Buzzcocks. And, yeah.
Yeah, various comedy panel shows and things like that. Yeah, they blend comedy with music. I don't believe that's ever.
All right.
Bill Bailey, I suppose.
Yeah, Bill Bailey.
I was being sarcastic.
Bill Bailey's sort of made a career out of that.
He's also a paintballer.
Sarcasm was heavily implied, guys. God damn.
Well, I got it, but yeah, I mean, if it's musical comedy, the Axis of Awesome,
Flight of the Records. Went
Hmm?
to see them last year at Birmingham, I think it was. Yeah.
You count music-based comedy? Would you count Spinal Tap as music-based comedy?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
No, because their songs are actually
Final
really
Cut.
good as well. So they weren't really like comedy
Yeah.
songs as such.
It was just that was the comedy.
Yeah, yeah. So their actual songs were passable, fairly.
It was a huge band that ironically came out with good music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steel Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still Panthers. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's replied back saying it's not that easy when you make dubstep, EDM, and drum and bass. Yeah, it is. It's just copy and paste. It's all computer rubbish.
Just play it in normal CD and then just like, or play it in normal record and then just like speed it up and slow it down at random points.
And then like interject, drop the bass in the middle of it.
Yeah. And
Frank-
was it the air horn as well?
Someone posted up Frank Sidebottom, which was a vastly underrated comedy act.
Now, see, no, they'll not know who you're on about.
Well, there's been 2 films come out recently about Frank Sidebottom. One with Michael Fassbender, which was one that was done with John Ronson, I think.
But do you know who he's on about, Dex?
I don't think I do. I might know the
Hey.
music, but
No, you won't know
No,
the
was it?
music.
No, it was just a person. It wasn't a group.
Well, actually, Frank Sidebottom was on the road with Jimmy Carr, was actually in his
Yes.
band. John Ronson
Yeah.
was in his band. Ricky Gervais, I believe, was something to do with the band for a while as well. So, yeah, a lot of the guys that he worked with went on to become really popular, and he never did, sadly. And then he died
Mhm.
penniless. Yeah, very sad. He wore a massive prosthetic head.
Oh,
Paper mache head.
Mm.
but like Deadmau5.
No.
No, you'll have to Google it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to explain.
It's weird.
He played a banjo. Yeah.
All right.
Who else have we got? GLC, Goldie Looking Chain. Straight out. Of
Yes, Goldie Looking Chain. Yeah.
Guns don't kill people, rappers do.
Yeah, robbers do. Calling the police. Yeah, yeah.
I now that I actually recognize the head. Yeah, I actually recognize the head of the character.
It does look like it's come out of some kind of twisted fever dream.
Kinda, yeah, but
Sorry, yeah, we were talking about what music Dex was into. Yeah.
Well, other than Chan, what music are you into?
Chan has good taste.
I'm getting.
Led Zeppelin, Pink
Osric
Floyd.
Tentacles, I bet, is one of your bands.
Who?
Osric Tentacles? No? Gotta look them up. Good
What?
band.
Metallica, AC/DC.
Metallica, Enter the Van Man.
End of the van, man. Oh no.
Oh. Chan Man.
Yep, Enter Chan Man. That one will do as well.
How come every conversation turns back to the bloody van?
Because it's where the fun begins.
So we've established Chan's just into good music.
Yes,
Chan's
Chan
just
does actually
in-
have very good taste, yeah. You know, if anybody is actually interested in the sort of stuff that I listen to, feel free to. I've got a playlist on YouTube that you can just go and check out. It's got it's a bit of an eclectic taste, a bit of an eclectic mix. So
He means weird.
yes, weird, but I do weird quite well.
You probably
I
won't
get
get much of it.
I get a lot of shock when I tell people what sort of music that I'm into.
Go on then.
You have a
Fast
guess?
food rockers.
Oh, have a guess? No.
Buster Blood.
You're getting
The
there,
Tweenies.
Buster Blood Vessel. No, he was getting there with Buster Blood Vessel.
Cypress
I
Hill.
like me punk.
Ian
Punk.
Jury and the Blockheads. Half Man, Half Biscuit.
Yeah, the Filthy Smut Peddlers. Have you heard of them?
Goblin Cock.
I'm actually not sure if we're still talking about music.
Yeah, there's a band.
yeah, he is, yeah. But yeah, I like me punk.
Spunk.
So you must know Half Man, Half
Two
Biscuit.
Man sheets.
Two-man sheets. Oh, God. Oh.
Undertones.
Yes, the undertones
I
also.
like the Undertones.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of my favourite, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, the Toy Dolls.
Yep.
Yeah. They were from Sunderland.
Stiff Little Fingers. I like them.
Yeah.
And old school Misfits. I'd find it amusing when kids walk around wearing like Vans with Misfits or T-shirts with the Misfits on. And I go, Misfits, and they go, huh?
Yeah.
Who? What?
Yeah.
Well, it's like the amount of people with oh shit! Now I can't remember the group. Balls.
The Ramones
Yes.
T-shirts on. They
The
don't.
amount-
They can't even name all of the Ramones.
Yes.
Or even a
And they
song.
don't even know who the Ramones are. Yeah.
Don't know they're even a
Nirvana. Nirvana's
Yeah.
another one that they do that with. Or Guns N' Roses, to be honest.
Yeah.
To be fair, the amount of people I hear, I've seen people go like, kind of, that lead singer out of Foo Fighters looks like the drummer out of Nirvana.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's actually mean about it, and he actually brings it up himself.
Yeah.
It's
Funnily enough,
Some-
he also looks like the drummer out of Queens of the Stone Age.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he also looks like the demon guy that appeared in Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Strangely.
I just like some of the stuff that the Foo Fighters do, like that hate preaching church in America, and they were like
Westboro.
when they were riding a flatbed lorry past, blasting out music with gay pride signs about the
Yeah.
Foo Fighters playing on the back of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
That's it. Dave Grohl seems like he's like a genuinely nice guy. There's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just just going back, music videos. I think early days of Foo Fighters, they put so much time and effort into their music videos. There's quite a few with Jack Black and
Yes.
Tenacious D,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Learn to Fly is a classic one.
I'm trying to think. It's like How Low or something like that, where it's Jack Black and Dave Grohl in a hotel room, and it's just meant to be them getting like smashed and then doing weird stuff, like dressing up as women and things, and
Isn't that
messing around with like the night vision camera.
I think you're thinking of a different video there, Dex.
Oh no, it's one of.
Is this like a private Patreon thing, Dex?
It sounds like it, doesn't it? Night vision and dressing up as women. We all
I'm
know
gonna
what
find
Dex
it.
does at a night time now.
When I get up on a weekend,
Yeah.
there's nothing to do with any of you unless I live stream it.
So yeah, I think I was a bit young for the first wave of 80s punk growing up, but I was definitely into the ska punk revival of the 90s. Bands
I
like
was definitely too young for punk in the 80s.
King Prawn and bands like that, and a bit.
I'm keeping me gob shut because I'm going to show me age here.
Nah.
Oh dear.
Right, back to paintball. Somebody talk about paintball.
It's Foo Fighters Low.
Foo Fighters low.
Yep.
What are you on about now? Oh, you're on about that private party you have. All right, okay.
Richie Wong says Spice Girls.
Damn
Spice
right.
Girls. Yeah, too right, yeah.
No.
Sadly, I was the right age for the Spice Girls.
I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want.
Zig Zigar?
Actually, yes. How did you
No,
know?
the Clash. Like John Taylor's at the Clash.
Yeah,
Yes.
Clash.
Now
Yes.
he's talking. Yes, I like the Clash.
I also like the Jam.
Richard Cheese.
Oh yeah, a bit of Dick Cheese.
Yep.
And in
Ladies
fact,
go nuts for this Richard Cheese.
I think one of the best albums was the Aperitif for Destruction, as in Appetite for Destruction.
Yep.
I think that was. They did a really good cover of. Is it Chop Suey by
Yes.
System of a Down?
Yeah.
Where it's like, why did you leave the keys upon the table?
Because I wanted to.
Yeah, just amused me.
Yeah.
Cradle of Filth, anyone?
Albert was around when Edson rolls in 78. Cheers, Richie.
I wasn't born.
To be fair, I wasn't
Actually,
born
I
for
think-
80s, so
Oh, now you're just showing off.
A bit of ska.
Yeah, bit of that. Depends what sort of scar you're talking about.
Would you class Madness as ska?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yes,
love
it's-
Madness.
Two-tone and ska are kind
Yeah.
of two-tone ska punk, anything like that, and even
Yeah.
a bit dancehall, like the old school dancehall kind of. Anger Fist.
Can't say I've heard of them.
No.
Although I may have seen a few videos online.
Oh God.
Yeah, we're getting back to your private Patreon again, aren't we? Yeah.
Oh god.
Premium Snapchat. Oh god.
Who has albums
Um,
called Deep Purple? I do.
No?
I don't think I have any
Deep
albums
Purple.
called Stranglers, though.
Oh, I've got some Stranglers, yeah.
Are they anything like the Bangles?
Yeah.
What, the Stranglers?
Just
Oh,
like-
yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly the same. All female band.
I've been there's a lot of works told us I should check out Rock Bitch.
Who? What?
Apparently
Rock
there
Bitch?
was a band and it was like an all female punk band years ago called Rock Bitch. And apparently they used to do like they were effectively a cult, and that manager used to just basically like make them sleep with guys at the gigs.
Sounds
Apparently,
good.
yeah.
Sounds
Appar-
good to me.
apparently-
We're the next
apparently
the next gig.
Apparently, this was like years ago, but apparently there's like a documentary or something like online about them, and apparently they were it was really weird. But yeah,
I can remember in The Word there was an all-girl punk band, and she basically dropped her trousers and flashed everything to everyone.
oh,
I
well.
remember that.
There's a couple of bands like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And The Word, yeah, basically they did anything to be. They don't have nothing like that on telly now. I used to like The Word. The wannabes, when they do basically anything to be on telly, drinking their
Yeah.
own puke and shit.
Isn't that just basically celebrity, just like Love Island and Big Brother and everything?
Yeah, that's pretty much reality TV now.
No.
Global phenomenon. It was like youth TV, and during the kind of late 80s, early 90s, it was angry stuff.
Yeah.
Channel 4, wasn't it? So they didn't really have
Yes.
much in the way of sort of editing, or this is all pre.
Censoring.
At all, it was 100% live, and some of the stuff they just cut to the presenter, and you'd just see a shocked face when somebody basically got stark naked in the middle of the stage, and there was also the Tube as well, wasn't there? The Word, the Tube.
Oh, grey whistle test.
I was never a fan of that.
I wasn't born.
Cheers.
You walked right into that one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
one of the trap.
I'm going now. Bye. Bastards. And before you say it, no, I wasn't old enough for Desert Island Discs.
That's still on. Lauren Levine hosts that on Radio 4 now.
I was on about the original one. Oh, what's this? Can we listen?
Conversations.
Yeah.
Everyone be quiet.
Ah,
Shh.
yeah.
We're not listening, Chan.
Chan's actually talking. He can talk.
So, Chandy Man, can you actually talk now, or
He's just here.
Hello, Chan.
Chandy Man? Have you got any new creations that you'd like to talk about this week?
No.
Well, that's a quick
Well.
answer for you.
I don't know what we're gonna.
I was gonna have cheese.
Yeah.
Is that something about cheese?
The mechanical E-Tech's looking good.
Yeah. Doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have
Yeah. I do. I can't wait. That I'm hoping that's ready for PMFest, because I just want the look on somebody's face. That's not mechanical. Yes, it is.
The
Yeah.
170R that's come out.
No, he's making an E-Tech, a mechanical E-Tech.
Okay.
It's an it was an E-Tech 5 that was knackered, which I paid 50 quid for. So I've ripped all the solenoid out and that sort of thing, and put
Nice.
a little valve in, so it's
Yeah.
now
Because, of
mechanical.
course, the Chandy Man can.
I just like, say, you imagine when they're like, that's not mechanical. It's like, yeah, where's the batteries?
Honestly, the trigger stroke is maybe 3 or 4 mil, if that. It's like,
Nice.
the pull is non-existent. It feels like
nice.
it's still an electronic trigger. It doesn't feel like it's a mechanical trigger.
That's pretty
So
awesome.
it's like the old micro switches on an Ion.
Yeah.
They used to have very little pull on them. I could shake my Ion and it would fire. I had to be careful if I ever ran because the gun would fire if I.
Yeah, going back to the raise your hand if you've been shot from 1 foot away by someone with an Ion. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that was it. I think the most recent time for me was at Speed Weekend. Somebody shot us in the back at almost point blank while I was just sitting waiting for the next game to start.
Mustn't know who you were, Dex. There's that get.
Yeah, that's very possible. I thought it was an accident, but
Was it a MagFed player? Was it?
Hey, I'm very accepting of MagFed players.
Now.
I've always been accepting of MagFed players. It's the MagFed players that weren't accepting of me.
Oh. Yeah, well, that's what used to pay me off, is when I would want to join an event, and they were saying, yes, if you put a MagFed adapter. I'm not putting a MagFed adapter on a 25-year-old pump.
Yeah. Well, it's the putting a MagFed adapter on it to make it more efficient.
And it's like, well, no, I just wanted to play one event, and what gun do you want to use? Well, I've got a Sterling STP. Well, yeah, if you cut off the feed neck and attach a mag to it, will allow you to play. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
it's stock. I've never did anything to it, and it's older than you, mate. So I'm not going to start doing it now.
Oh dear.
I was gutted as well because I wanted to play the tunnels.
Yeah. See, I think I must admit, I think there are a lot of MagFed organisers. They are a lot more well. In fact, it's not even the MagFed organisers; it's the MagFed players in general. A lot of them are a lot more accepting, and I think they're prepared to actually play with people because they've had a few years of experience in people that do play with things like pumps and realise that we're not going out and hammering paint. And I think because of that, they
Your name's Colin.
The one and only person I know that plays pump with a max loader.
Yeah.
What?
And gets accused of ramping with his pump, don't he, Colin?
Yes, I do, don't I, Albert?
We had every year we went to the island in Greece, Aegina, for the Medusa game.
Yes.
We used to have what was called MagFed Friday. Now, a lot of the guys that came along were flying in from, like, obviously the UK, Germany, and other places around to just play this one event. And they didn't bring a MagFed gun. They brought along an Electro, or they brought along, just a standard marker. And the guys there were perfectly accepting. They're like, okay, put on a tack cap or a limited loader hopper or stick fed or whatever, or play with pump or use one of our guns. The only thing they said is you can't have a force fed loader.
Yes.
Because it's it's a MagFed game.
Yeah.
And they just said, look, just don't go mental, pick your shots, limited loaders, and anyone caught just dumping a pod in the top of a tack cap and just using that as a hopper will be eliminated from the game. And it's just a mutual respect thing, whereas we still call it MagFed Friday just because it fitted, and it was the ethos of a MagFed game, i.e. it was slower paced, it wasn't a paint waster, it was just pick your shots and be a little bit more thoughtful and tactical in what you're going to do. And they said, pumps, yes, whatever you want to use. But that was purely from a logistical point of view. If we eliminated everyone that didn't have a MagFed marker, like half the people wouldn't be able to play. So and it worked. They were fine. Everyone behaved themselves because everyone kind of knew each other. But that, again, it's down to the attitude of the player. It's like I've seen some guys with MagFed kit rattle off paint just as quick as anyone would do with a pump.
Well, that's it. But generally, you tend to when you find those sorts of players, it tends to be players using box mags, which are effectively they're just an upside down hopper. Yeah, that's all they are.
So what makes me laugh is when you get somebody with a die dam. and they can flick it on full auto and absolutely light you up, and then they turn around and say, you can't play. You've got a lightweight Tony pump.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, that's down to the attitudes of the players.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that 100%.
If an event posts up that it is purely mag-fed, we don't allow box loaders, we don't allow, then they're the rules. You abide by those rules. But yeah, I think some events that allow, because there are some guys there. I mean, Mike was there from Underdogs using his bow.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's stick fed. That's not really mag fed either. It's just a 10-round tube stuck in. But what are you going to say to him? No, that's not mag fed. It's like, really?
I'd love to go one of them bows.
I'd love to see someone using one of them bows with first strike. That'd just be incredible.
Well, I believe if you go over and check out Gaff's YouTube channel, I believe he actually has done it.
I don't know if he's still on here, but yeah, he was on here about half an hour ago. But yeah, he has got. I've seen it on his YouTube. Yeah, he's got first strike and a bow.
Yeah.
I suppose if you got it right, the little toy Robin Hood arrows that you get with the little suckers on the front. You could stick one of them into the back of a first strike and just boom.
Yeah. Imagine you'd know who you'd shot because they'd be walking around with just the little rubber bits sticking up.
Yeah.
Garlic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be quite good. But yeah, I think first strike in one of those bows would be great. The idea of being able to drop a shot into someone from a lot further.
I think I'm losing yous.
Are we losing you there, Albert? Is your battery
low? Yeah, I thought I lost you there for a minute or two.
Yeah, but the problem
is struggling.
The problem with the air bow though is for to get a high velocity, you have to be shooting like a very high foot-pound on the bow. I believe Gaff said the other day it was about 50 pounds to get like 260 feet per second.
Man up.
Yeah, the beauty of it runs on a pound bow, so once it's locked out, you've not got to hold it at full strength. If it's a 50-pound pull bow, you've not got to hold 50 pounds constantly. You're only holding a fraction of. Even so, you can have a stiff arm by the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just more reason for every Englishman to get down there and practice these air bow for like 2 hours every Sunday.
I'd love a long bow. I think it'd be brilliant.
Look, yeah, a bit brave. You imagine a long bow paintball team.
Be no good for you, Albert. You're constantly shooting over the head. The bow would be taller than you are.
I think I want to see more cool things created like that for paintballers.
I'd be happy with an all-pump team at a Tony event.
Yeah. Well, I think we're heading towards actually being able to manage that at some point.
You guys
That's what I'd love to do.
The Cell Swords kits he's brought out for like the Opus.
Yes.
Brought out for the 3D printed.
Yeah.
They look interesting as revolvers, but again, they don't seem to be able to get them over 180 feet per second.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of an issue.
I've been told that apparently with Cell Sword stuff, because Cell Sword is located in New Zealand, after the recent incident in Christchurch, they've apparently cracked down really, really strict on firearms, anything to do with firearms. And he's actually apparently having problems getting stuff out of the country. But I don't know if anything's changed since I was told that. But his stuff does look very good, and there's some of his stuff I would definitely be interested in getting my hands on. Some of his breech loaded. What was that? Sorry, Colin?
He does the lever Randalls, doesn't he? As well.
He does a lot of stuff, but I mean, he's 3D printing full sort of over and under shotguns, but like sawn-offs and stuff like that. I think that they'll look brilliant.
Wasn't him who did the flintlock pistols?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I believe what he does is he actually uses a freak back as the main barrel to get your velocity up.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's maybe say a little bit of 3D printed barrel on the front. but they look great.
It's a Crossman. I think it's Crossman. Is it Air Pistol? Is the
yes.
main
That
CO2 body?
is it the 357 or something?
Mm.
Because it was
The 3357, isn't it?
no, the 3357 was the Crossman 50 cal pistol. The 357 is the air pistol version of it.
The air rifle pellet pistol.
Yeah, the pellet version, which is then he does the kit that you can then step it up to fire a 50 cal round out of. But the velocity on them apparently isn't very great.
Well, the one that I know of is there's a guy in the States.
Mhm.
I've recently just picked one up myself as an airsoft version. Umarex make a Colt single action army revolver.
Yeah,
And this guy in the States converts them to 43 cal paint
yeah,
and uses actual 45 long Colt spent shells to put the paintballs in.
yeah.
And they seem to get pretty good velocity as well.
Yeah. Now
Well-
I think I could enjoy that.
Have you not seen that thing they do in Vegas where it's simulated ammunition with
Simunition.
actual guns? Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you run out of bullets, you go into fighting MMA.
Yeah, into melee.
Yeah, you go. They melee fight each other. I was like, my good God! I was watching a video. They're fully armored up. I
Yeah.
mean, the massive padding on them, and then literally they ran out of bullets, so they started pounding on each other. I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah.
We should bring that in as a rule.
You're out painting, you start beating each other up.
Yeah,
Well,
just swing it
In a
around. Use the
game,
bottle.
we've ran out of, well, not ran out of paint, but we were at a game once and it got that cold that the gun stopped working, so we started having snowball fight instead.
Yeah.
There was 50 of us all throwing snowballs at each other. It was at Dishforth Army Base, Air Force Base, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never known it drop so cold so fast. And literally, there was only, I think, about 3 guns out of like the 50 people at the walk on working.
Yeah.
So we all decided, right, we'll have a snowball fight instead.
The thing is, do you count? Were you eliminated if you got hit?
No, we were just peddling the shit out of each other, basically.
It sounds very Albert, that does.
Did you still play with a mask on as well? Or?
Funnily enough, a lot of people were, yeah. Because they literally just put the guns down and just started peddling snow at each other. And to the
Anything to
marshals,
keep warm.
to the marshals' horror, because the marshal was like, "What are you doing when my guns stop working?" So we'll just stop throwing snowballs.
Yeah. I know at YPC, it was probably around about 2009. I was playing with a stock class Phantom and there was snow all over. And that was a struggle to get velocity up decent on that day because I was only using sparklets. But yeah, that was a good game in the snow.
That's when you make
Pretty
a
sure-
snow plug down the barrel and fire snow out the end of the.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a few snowballs thrown on that game as well.
Oh dear.
Anyway, guys, is there anything else that anybody would like to talk about? So we're actually kind of.
I think we're running.
I think we've ran on for quite a while tonight.
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
I can't think of anything else to talk about. We've actually still got 11 people.
Rabbited.
Yeah.
We've still got 11 people actually watching.
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
Why are they watching?
Well, I did actually look over before then. I think we lost a lot of people when we started going into music, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's still been a fun conversation.
It's definitely been insightful. I did not honestly know how much money you guys put into the photography side. That was a big surprise for me. I knew the cameras were expensive, but not that expensive. When
Well,
you're talking like
people just assume that you've got a camera, a lens, and off you go. But
Yeah.
it's not just that. It's the camera body, the lens. Then you got to have a couple of other lenses. You got to have a backup camera if you're serious about it. If you've taken bookings for a team and your main camera gets damaged or goes down, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to refund them all their money because you can't take any pictures, or you're going to use your backup.
No,
camera.
you're gonna have to use your backup, aren't you?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you have to buy a backup camera in order for that to happen. Then you got your spare batteries, which ain't cheap if you buy decent ones, and then like the XQD cards you use for the if you're using 4K footage, you got to use XQD cards.
Yeah.
They're really expensive.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Then
Yeah.
you got the camera bag, you got consumables, you got filters, you've got your straps, you got the list goes on and on. You got to replace your cards.
Yeah.
Then every year you send it in for a service, which is again a couple £100. Then if you insure your
Bloody
kit,
hell.
which is a good idea, it's one of those things. It's like paintball,
Yeah, I
isn't
think
it? But you can play paintball just with one gun. You can buy a 98 custom secondhand.
Nah.
You turn up to a tournament with that, you're not really going to be able to compete. And if you haven't got a backup marker, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm trying to remember
You,
what Richard
you
put
go
in.
you realise that I'm there, and then you come and see me, and I give you a backup.
True. I mean, the community of photographers are great, and I'm pretty sure, and I've seen it happen. We were at one of the Barcelona mills, and it hammered it down with rain. I mean, it hammered it. Seriously, torrential rain. Luckily, I had a camera bag on, and my body's weather sealed. But Ryan had a Canon, and it got wet, and it just stopped working. Just broke. Just water got into it, and it just died. So he actually borrowed a camera off one of the other photographers.
Yeah.
That was a Canon
Oh,
as
wow.
well, and because they had two, and carried on, was able to take the rest of the pictures for the day and
Yeah.
fulfill his contract. But if he didn't have that photographer that was willing to go, hey, I've got gear that you can borrow,
Yeah.
he would have been stuffed. So the community out there is great. I mean, I'm pretty sure if one of my lenses went down and Rich or whatever was there and he had something that fitted, it might not be what I'm normally used to, but go, there you go. At least you're up and
At least
running.
to get
and
you
off go.
going. Yeah.
Yeah. So it used to be when I first started off with photography that there was a bit of like, what's this person doing? Don't you tread on my territory? But I think we've fostered a bit more of a community now between the other media guys where we kind of try and help each other out and try not to get into a position where people are undercutting each other just to get work in, because it's not useful for anyone. But it's expensive.
Yeah.
It is.
What's
So
it?
I've got a few friends who are into photography outside of paintball, and I know at least one of them's got about $7 or $8 grand buried into the camera.
Yeah, I'm
Man.
approaching that kind of money on my kit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Martello, was it you that posted the photo where it was from an event where it had been absolutely lashing it down and the lens actually had water in the front of it?
No, that was Rich.
Right.
Rich did his 70. He had such a bad event. I think his 70. It was Paint Fest and just hammered it down.
Yeah.
But the problem was that it was really hot as well.
Yeah.
So not only did he have that problem with the water, but when it started heating up, everything mists. So all the inside of the camera starts to condensate, and you can't do anything. So I think he had a camera body go down and a lens. So I mean, my lens needs replacing, and I've dropped the. You can see it's held on with some lovely unicorn gaffer tape, but I need to replace it soon. But that holds the battery in.
Yeah.
On the bottom. It's got a little clip, but I've had to stick
like it.
unicorn because the battery door for this it's like 40 quid just for the battery door. And I've lost it on the field somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll stick with your gaffer tape.
Yeah,
now, I'm
a
gonna
bit
have
of
to.
unicorn tape does just the job.
Get one 3D printed.
Yeah. But at some point I've got to replace that as well. So it's all kind of little bits and pieces like that. But yeah, Rich was really unlucky. He had a series of unfortunate incidents. I think he dropped his camera at one point. I think Rich I think he had posted up photos. He actually dropped the camera, I think, and it ripped off here.
Yeah.
And took the whole frame with it here as well, completely out. And that was a write-off for the body and the lens. So he's had a few. But, when you are taking pictures and you put yourself in harm's way, you take those calculated risks. Sometimes they don't come off. So just one of those things. If people want the pictures, you've got to take the risks to get in front of the players, because at the end of the day, no one wants pictures of the back of their heads. They want pictures in front of them, the side,
from
in the
6
action.
feet away, obscured by a tree
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
or through netting every time.
But yeah, if people could not shoot me when I'm in the field, that'd be grand.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, this is it. It's good to see photographers wearing.
Well,
Obviously
that's
wearing
something
bright
I've
colours like
I've
that.
never done.
What's that, Albert? Just something that you've never done.
I've shot marshals before, but I've never
Yeah.
shot photographer.
Yeah. You see, that's it. Like, if a marshal was standing in my way,
I've said I've shot marshals before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've shot
if-
marshals before, but I've never shot a photographer yet.
Yeah.
I don't try and shoot the
I
marshals.
don't think I've ever shot a photographer. I know I have definitely shot marshals. It's if there's a marshal standing in the way
Oh,
and you
I've
give
done,
it
yeah.
the marshal move and they don't marshal move, and they don't marshal move, right? You're getting shot now.
But you played the final battle at North versus South.
Yeah,
You know, there was no way I wasn't going to get shot.
yeah, true.
You know,
There is
there's
a-
so much paint
yeah.
in the air, and I've got to get pictures of people. So
Yes.
what do? You either stand at the back and pussy out and don't get the shots, or you
Yeah.
throw yourself into the action and roll around in all the crap that's on the floor and just take the shots and hope your camera doesn't get hit.
Yeah. Is there any options like that could actually be used to protect the camera other than just wrapping it up and trying to pad it?
Some guys use silicone cases that are molded to the camera
Right.
to help like shock. Some people use like sweatbands around
Yeah.
the camera.
All right.
I use a bag, which is awkward, and sometimes the paint goes right through it anyway,
Yeah.
or it just finds its way in. But yeah, there's nothing really you can do. If you're going to get shot, you're going to get shot.
Yeah.
Some people have like neoprene, like wetsuit material they put around
Right, yeah.
the body. But at the end of the day, you've got to be able to get to controls. You've got
Yeah.
to be able to zoom in and out. You've got to be able to, adjust your focus.
Mm.
And you can't block up the end of the camera because then
Yeah.
you can't see anything. So yeah, just position yourself where you think you're not going to get shot, or you're going to get shot least. And just
Yeah.
hope that people aren't being vindictive.
Yeah. Possibly use a big umbrella as a shield.
Yeah, maybe.
I've seen that done, well, not so lately, but it used to be a big thing a few years ago
Mhm.
of people using umbrellas for shields.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think marshals maybe, but when you're a photographer and you need to
Both hands.
move around, you need to be.
Yeah,
The other thing is, marshals are there and they need to be seen.
Yes.
As a photographer, you can get yourself into a situation where a player's moved round to flank, or someone's in the snake, or you could alert the other team to where the player is. So yeah, carrying around a big umbrella or a flashing light saying "photographer here" isn't always welcome.
Yes, I suppose. Yeah.
Mention no names, but there's a certain photographer I use all the time because they always give away. I was like, I know there's somebody there because the photographer's standing right over him.
Yeah.
Me.
I do it all the time. Right, there's definitely a guy in that direction. Why? There's a photographer next to him.
Yeah.
I do actually, and I've seen it happen. I point my camera into random bushes, especially when I'm at somewhere like UK Woodland Masters, where it's a tournament event, but you're
Yeah.
still trying to take photos of people in the fields. And yeah, you just literally just stand there and point your camera at a bush, and people start firing at it because they think that there's
Yeah.
a player there, and there isn't. So you have
Yeah.
to kind of say to guys, I've always got my camera up. I'm
Oh
always
my
looking through it. It doesn't
God.
necessarily mean I'm taking a picture of anyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a photographer to just go right up to players and give away their position can cause a bit of an issue. So
Yeah.
but yeah, what do you do? People want the pictures.
Yes. Well, I suppose if you want the pictures, you've got to accept that you might get shot.
Yeah, or we might accept the fact that someone's going to point a camera at
It's
you.
one of the oldest tricks in the book. It's not just photographers, is it? It's one of the oldest tricks in the book. If you know there's a guy in a rough area, marshal, paint check, and the marshal goes and stands over the book. Right, I know where he is now, and starts shooting the bush.
Yeah.
It's one of the oldest tricks in the
Yeah.
book, isn't it?
Or I've come out behind bunkers or come through like a scenario event and just pulled my camera up to take a picture.
Yeah.
And someone's turned around going like, just go to shoot me, because they're like, oh, I thought that was someone raising a gun up.
Yeah.
And I actually looked into getting an adapter for my camera that was actually a rifle stock. It's actually they actually manufactured these. I can't remember the company, but it's a Russian. Someone in the chat might know, but it's a Russian make, a model of camera that is telescopic camera built for the Russian army, where they'd actually like spot positions and take pictures through this rifle stock, basically. So I thought about getting one of those, but I thought the more you make the camera look like a gun, the more I think it's going to be a gun and I'm going to get shot. So
Just
Chan's gone to sleep. Oh no, he's awake.
He hasn't, has he? No.
Just imagine
Richie, what?
at the end of your camera.
Just want to know what Richie Wong's on about. Something about me borrowing a box of brownies.
Oh yeah,
no
what that implies of
special brownies.
God knows, Albert said you can borrow a box of brownies.
Oh, box brownie camera.
Yeah, box brownie camera. Yeah.
I'm half your age, Albert, and I know that.
I'm not into photography. I know them.
Yeah, I know, but you're
I bet Albert's got a mini film somewhere.
8
Catch you
mil.
later, Tinks.
Yeah, Super 8.
I quite like the idea of having a photographer with the rifle stocked camera. Just so, like, if you're like playing an urban game, having the photographer in doing room clearance with you.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking. I actually found one of these cameras for sale, like the Soviet era, and obviously stripped the camera off, and the trigger is the the shutter actuation, which you can kind of figure out and mount it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I looked at it because it's quite a natural way to like line yourself up to take pictures. And you can attach it to a sling and everything. I thought it might be, a bit of fun to be able to do that. And you can lay prone as well and kind of, but...
you would definitely end up getting shot to shit there, like...
You would, wouldn't you?
Sniper photographer.
Yeah. And you'd be like, are you playing a game or what? So you're going to have to carry a sidearm as well.
I found one.
Was that a Polaroid?
Yeah, no, a little wine.
Yeah, I was thinking like one of them 110 films with the flash cube on the top.
Flashbang.
I've found one for you, a modern one that just uses the standard mounts that you would use on a normal tripod, and I presume it's the button is wired to the same one. But
similar to that, yeah. But this one was an old fashioned like wooden. Sort of yeah, that's the one. That's exactly the one. The Russian Soviet. Yeah, I found a couple online for like 60 quid. I was like, tempting.
See, if you got like the shell holder for the stock as well, what could you fit in that? That would be like photography connected.
In the stock, the hollow stock.
Not the stock. You know, like you can get the shell holders for like that.
The shotgun shell holders for the stock.
What in God's name is that?
Films.
No, Freddos. Just load it up with Taz and Freddos and fingers of fudge.
Yeah, fingers of fudge would work.
Put that back up again, Chan. What was that?
That's what she said. That's a steady cam for holding the camera into your shoulder, so you can steady almost like a gimbal, but for filming more than anything.
This one's quite cool.
Yeah.
Now, Chan, I've got one for you because the Chinese man can.
God, that was.
Can you make a marker that looks like a camera?
No, please don't.
That would be funny. Just take your photo. Bang! You're out, mate.
Because before I started doing photography for the magazine, I used to take out a little Coolpix like camera into the games. And I got going back to like 2005. I used to take a camera out. And people used to say you'd be quite a good player if you weren't pissing around, turning around and taking pictures of the people like advancing rather than actually turning around and shooting the people because you're right at the front. But people used to sort of stop. And if you had a camera, they would like stop shooting you. So I'd take a couple of pictures, then pull my X7 up and like give them a couple of rounds.
To shoot them.
Shoot them, yeah. And they're like, but you're a photographer. I'm like, no, I'm not. I just happen to be a player that has a camera.
Yeah.
But obviously a Nikon Coolpix is far removed from, that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You need,
See,
we need
I definitely think I could fit an
Go on.
ion inside one of those.
you
Oh,
could
crap.
easily
You can
decide
fit
one
an
of these.
ion into anything.
Speak to Rich. He's got one of these lenses going.
Awesome.
One.
Broken one, yeah.
See, you can fit an ion into nearly anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have one of the big flash that you have on top as a hopper instead.
Yeah.
Just like a 40 shot. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
But,
you need to design a jersey that's got like kind of the media written on it.
Yeah. Start a
Wrongly,
paintball team
just
called
spelt
Media.
wrong. Yeah, just spelt wrong.
the mediocre.
Splatographer or something.
Yeah, you literally just walk. Got you.
Yeah.
What?
No,
The
before
whole-
he does anything like that, I want me giggity pump.
But talking of the whole sort of mistaken identity sort of thing on the field, I think I think it was one of the first few sort of big games I kind of went to. There was actually a lad running around with a ref jersey on, but it was a different ref jersey to all of the other refs that were actually working that day. I think his was like orange or something, and he was shooting people. People weren't bothering him because he was wearing a ref's jersey, and then he was just shooting them and claiming the objective and then running off.
Yeah, a bit naughty.
Yeah.
That's well naughty. That
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Light him up.
Yeah.
We got a few people
Yeah, it's naughty.
asked for our PBM jersey with the white and the orange.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Yeah, can I buy one of those?" And I was like, "Yeah, up for that." And then I thought, "Hang on a minute, no, because
Yeah.
it just says PBM. It doesn't really say media on here. What if someone rocks up at an event that I just happen to be at as well, starts running
Yeah.
around shooting the crap out of people? I'm like, oh yeah, it's not so
They're
good,
gonna,
is it?
yeah, they're going to start shooting you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with your camera rifle.
Yeah, all kitted up, my ghillie suit on.
Well, that's the next one we need for a photographer to just lie in the middle of a game zone wearing a ghillie suit and then just pop up
Ghillie
and start
suit.
taking photos.
Well, sometimes you might find me asleep in a bush somewhere, but
Is that after a heavy night the night before?
it's just average day.
I have been trodden on while wearing a ghillie suit before because people didn't know I was there.
You in a ghillie suit. What was it? 2-man tent?
Yes,
Must have been the size of you for a ghillie suit. Jesus.
3-man tent.
Yeah.
For our team of fake photographers, Paul has suggested fake media,
Fake media.
Yeah.
but I'm thinking we'll just go for the full Trumpian and call it fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Oh,
Make paintball photography great again.
Yeah.
I'm probably showing me age again here, but what was the name of that spoof news program that Channel 4 used
Brass
to do?
eye.
Yeah,
Or
that's it, yeah.
The day to
Yeah,
day or
brass
brass
eye.
eye. One of
Yeah. Brass eye, just do that. Yeah, do them tops.
Well, it was the day to day when Alan Partridge was on it, like for the
Yeah.
TV series, and then the brass eye were the one off specials. But yeah,
Yeah, that was the brass eye was what I was thinking about.
the one where a paedophile dresses up as a school to catch children. That was,
Yeah.
and it hangs around outside their houses, so the children walk into him.
Yep.
Oh, that's
dear.
traumatizing just saying that.
Or the IRA bomb dogs, where they're putting bombs in dogs. So the police were spraying them, and it created a hard casing, and then the dog
Yes,
would
I remember
explode. But
that,
if they didn't get underneath, it used to launch the dog up into the air. Yeah, Brass Eye was brilliant.
Oh, you couldn't get away with doing that
No,
nowadays.
you couldn't.
No.
No, you could. Or some of the stuff, the early days of Channel 4, you definitely could not get away with now.
It's, what was the name of the guy that co-wrote it? It was the guy that was Renham Industries for IT Crowd.
Glenna?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
what
can't
was the
remember.
actual actor called?
Oh, the actor. Don't know.
Paul, yes. Paul Cross said the one that I was on about. Drop the Dead Donkey.
Oh yeah, that was a good one as well. That was a Channel 4.
Yeah, that's the one I was really thinking about. Yeah,
Chris Morris.
that's the one I was. Yeah, so Richie's also said that, Chris Morris, yeah. But yeah, Drop the Dead Donkey. That was the one I was thinking of. That was hellish.
That was set in a newsroom, wasn't it? Like
it was, yes.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah.
Is Chris Morris the one that finds the gun in IT Crowd?
No, that's Matt Berry.
Yeah.
When he finds a gun, he goes, "My father's old service revolver. I wonder if it's still loaded." Click, click, click. No. That was Matt Berry. Chris Morris is his father, who was in the first season or first
Yeah.
seasons. Yeah.
Father!
Jumps out the window.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, it's the police here asking about the pension fund.
Have you noticed that there could be possibly a new season of Blackadder?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
They're in talks. I'm well looking forward to that if it does happen.
Yes, he's supposed to be a university lecturer.
Oof. Ooh.
Ah.
I'd read a little article on it that said basically the original Blackadders was always the young people having a go at the older generation.
Yeah.
And now all of the cast up that much older, they're going to flip it around and have the older generation
people
having a go at the younger generation. For
if you actually consider Rowan Atkinson actually has some quite sort of, well, I don't even know where I would put them, but Rowan Atkinson has come out against a lot of political correctness and stuff, and when you're talking about joking, because there's a lot of these older comedians are saying you've ruined comedy because everyone's scared to joke about everything.
Oh, it's getting beyond a joke. It really is.
Oh. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see where they actually take the new Blackadder. I get the feeling it'll be taking the mick out of people that are easily offended quite a lot.
I bet you it's a lot tamer than some of the original stuff.
Yes.
Like when it was it would have been the one where it's Queenie and
yes,
that was for me the best Blackadder, but it was so the amount of people that'd be complaining about it now would be ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Which one would that? Would have been Blackadder the third?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk about
sense, yeah.
TVs and films that can't be done now, you just need to look at films like Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Well, here's another one that's come out against political correctness. Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks, yeah.
Mel Brooks has come out against political correctness. Said he could not make the films he made now.
Not one of his films. No. Would any of his films be ever?
No. I mean, I think Robin Hood. Would you say Robin Hood Men in Tights was probably one of the last ones he kind of did?
Yeah.
When they're talking about Spaceballs 2 at some point.
I think there was, but then Rick Moranis dropped off out of the acting scene, and I think you couldn't have Spaceballs 2 without Rick Moranis.
Without Dark Helmet, no.
Yeah. No, sir, I did not see you playing with your dolls.
Yeah, he's a stay-at-home dad, isn't he?
Yeah.
But that was because his wife died. His wife.
I didn't know
died.
that bit.
Yeah, his wife died suddenly, so he became a stay-at-home
totally
dad.
Left Hollywood altogether, and he was a stay-at-home. But I didn't know that.
Apparently, he didn't leave completely. He did do some voiceover work just to kind of keep his hand in, but for the most part, he was just a complete stay-at-home dad. And he's now starting to actually get back into stuff.
All right.
Yeah, Paul Crosser said Benny Hill would be a real no-no.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh. Or
Roy Chubby Brown, who was.
He's still going.
That's it. Roy Chubby Brown
he does workman clubs now. Yeah, it's all workman clubs. He's gone back to he's stopped doing the big town halls and stuff, and he's gone back to his roots. And he does workman's clubs now.
Yeah. I saw him at the theatre.
Kenny Everett. That was the Kenny Everett show. You couldn't get away with that now as well.
You couldn't do that.
Yeah, well, that as well. But
yeah.
But just some of it, his comedy, like you say, Benny Hill. Oh, that would be definitely a big no-no.
Well, you just need a silly wig, Galbert, and you're there.
Well, what got me was the Benny Hill show as well. It was like pre-Watershed. How on earth they got away with that? It was like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon when they used to show the Benny Hill show. And you watch it now, it's like, my good God.
Ben says hello, but I don't know. I think hello, you probably could, because they did actually do another series of hello, didn't they? Or they
What
did
about
something about it.
The Carry On films, you didn't get away with after that.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to do the Carry On films, didn't they? And it was a massive flop. Carry On Columbus.
Yeah.
With all new. It had Julian Clary and all that in it, and it was a massive flop.
When you try remake and stuff, it just doesn't work. I mean, look at the Dad's Army remake. That was just
that was shocking.
Well, they're taking Peep Show to
Absolutely.
the America, but changing the two main actors for women. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just don't think that.
I just don't like remakes. I mean, like if you take the 2016 Ghostbusters, for example, there was for years and years, the fans wanted a Ghostbusters, like a third Ghostbusters film. The actors, some of them wanted to have a third Ghostbusters film. They waited until Harold Ramis died, and then they went, "We're going to do a third Ghostbusters, but it's going to be all lasses. It's going to be in the same universe, but it's not going to be in the same universe. And then we're going to take the piss out of the fans who say that they don't want it, and then we're going to do this and we're going to do that." And it was like, and they recreated scenes, but just like try to swap it, it was just bad. And then they've gone, right, we're going to do another Ghostbusters film where we're actually going to get the remaining cast together, and then they're going to do a handover. Instead of it just being a remake that no one wanted, they're going to do a passing of the torch. And people are really excited for it. Because
I think, to be honest, one of the best remakes that's come out in recent years is actually the new Magnificent Seven. Because it was close enough. It was close enough to pay homage to the originals, but it wasn't a direct rip-off copy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think one of the best remakes I've seen recently has been Battlestar Galactica, and that's not that recent.
Yes, yeah, that was really good, but that was really good. The Battlestar Galactica. Well, it was more of a TV series, wasn't it? But yeah.
I just started watching all the old TV series again from when I was like growing up.
Yeah, I do that with some stuff. If it's a show that I missed, then I'll go back and watch it at some point. I mean, there's even stuff that I go back and I watch just because I enjoy it, like Red Dwarf. But
yeah.
I went back to watch some stuff when I used to love when I was a kid, and I honestly tell me what the
black and white
I used to watch.
Was there a little man stood at the side of it, a little piano?
Playing the organ.
No. it's another one of those ones where the actually
comes up.
No, they ruined it by making a movie, The A-Team. They made a movie a few years ago.
The movie was quite good.
Yeah.
Did you actually used to watch the TV series though?
No, because I'm not that old.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Then that's why you thought the film was good.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's like Miami Vice when they brought the film out. That was just a cop buddy film. Why on earth they called it Miami Vice for? Because it was not Miami Vice. It was just another generic cop buddy film. But for some reason they called it Miami Vice. And the other one that they brought out, Total Recall, had nothing at all to do with the original film.
Well, that was it.
Apart from his name.
The new Judge Dredd was quite good.
You mean Dredd? But that was
Dredd.
Dredd was a franchise. Dredd wasn't just a film. And there was actually supposed to be there was meant to be going to be a sequel to the it was a 2012 Dredd, but they decided they thought it was the flop of the pictures, so they never backed it up. They never continued it on.
The problem
even though
is
it's actually become a bit of a cult film in itself.
The problem is with Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd has always been a very R-rated thing. You know, to do Judge Dredd properly means gore, violence, and questionable morals.
Yeah.
Even though he is a letter of the law and he just, judge, jury, and
executioner.
But he post Deadpool, comic book films were aimed at kids, and it was just seriously like anything that is going to be comic book has to be aimed at kids. And unfortunately, Deadpool knocked it out of the park. That's why it's such a good franchise. It's because they went R-rated, and they should have done that with the original Dredd movies, and it would have worked.
You just read my mind. I was just going to say if they did Dredd like Deadpool,
it would have worked. But the thing is, they were pandering to an audience where you got all these executives saying, "Oh no, it's a comic book. It's only kids." Well, those kids that grew up on those comic books, guess what? They've all grown up, but they still love the franchise.
Yeah.
I've heard that the next Harley Quinn movie is going to be R-rated again, or it's going to be an 18.
Good.
Yeah, they're Birds of Prey.
Yeah, no, Harley Quinn really like. I mean, don't get me into the whole backstory of Harley Quinn and everyone go, "Oh, the Harley Quinn and the."
Oh yeah. The fact that she was Harley Quinn's all.
I mean, she's an emotionally abused, like
a beat woman,
Stockholm.
basically.
Oh yeah, when you see people, I want a relationship like her, and they don't realize the story behind it. Yeah, that pees me up. Yeah. I'm on the same page there. But the new movie looks to be interesting because they will be doing something with the character that's reflected in the comic books, and I think it's going to be a bit of an eye opener for quite. I don't know if it's the actual title, but the working title they're using is Birds of Prey.
Well, that was supposed to be the basic the all female team of sort of the DC villains / heroes.
Well, didn't they go back and refilm a load of Suicide Squad after Deadpool came out?
I don't know.
Could have been nowhere near.
Talking of Deadpool being the first R-rated one, well, it wasn't really because I mean you had Spawn years ago, and then you had Blade, and they were amazing, but they didn't take on that. I suppose probably because they weren't comedies, they were more serious films. I suppose Spawn wasn't deadly serious, but Blade was quite a serious film and very dark, whereas Deadpool was very jokey, and I think it was the fact that because humor sells and violence sells and obviously the bit of sort of sex sells as well. It had all of those sort of aspects, and people loved it. And it was new and it was fresh, having the sort of the humor with all of the violence and everything else. But again, if it hadn't been for Ryan Reynolds, we would not have had that film. Apparently, it was Ryan Reynolds that leaked the test footage.
It was. I mean, Ryan Reynolds knew the character from the comic books, and he said that Deadpool breaks the third wall all the time.
Yeah.
And he is aware that he is a comic book character, and he is aware of the other parody of the other characters and how stupid they come across. Yeah. And, you can't do a serious Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
It's not
that's it. I mean, have you read much of the Deadpool stuff? Because I've only read a little bit of it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm familiar with a bit of it. And there's an entire series where Deadpool just goes into, because he knows that he's a comic book character, so he knows, well, I can just leave and I can go where I want. And he ends up like going into stuff like Moby Dick and killing people.
Yep.
Just because he can.
Well, he's supposed to have a really annoying voice. This is why his
that's why
comic
the
models
Wolverine
are in a horrible color and things like that. And yeah.
Well, have you ever actually seen the interview where Ryan Reynolds is talking about playing Wade Wilson in the Wolverine film? And he's being asked about playing Deadpool, and he's like, you can see he's excited, and he's like, oh yeah, I've been a massive Deadpool fan for years, and I love the idea of playing the character. And they went, so what do you think of the character in this film? And he just puts his head down and just goes, yeah, it's great.
He actually takes
and it was he was like, you could see he was contractually obliged to not say anything bad about the film, but he wasn't happy, and you could see it by his response.
Is it the first or the second one where he actually takes the piss out of that?
It's the
he
second
actually
one
picks the
where
he picks up the model. Yeah, when he picks up the model and goes, yeah, the least said about that, the better. And he's got the action figure of the mouth stitched up.
That's the first one, but it's the second one where he goes back in time and executes himself.
Yeah,
and then apologizes for it.
It's the first one, isn't it? Don't make the super suit green or animated.
Yeah.
When he's on about Green Lantern,
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't mind taking the piss out of himself.
Yeah.
He was the only good thing in the Pikachu movie as well.
I really hope that they do a Detective Pikachu crossover with Deadpool.
He's going to appear in one of them, I'm sure he will.
Yeah. I'm not being funny, but that Detective Pikachu film was actually quite funny. It was just
I haven't watched it yet.
It was a U-rated Deadpool, basically.
It was bearable. It was very basic storyline. It was bearable. I mean, if Ryan Reynolds wasn't in it, it would have been a pretty bland movie, to be honest.
Yeah. Well,
there ends my movie review.
Looking at, I haven't seen Detective Pikachu yet, but looking at just the trailers, there doesn't seem to be anybody in it that is particularly famous apart from Ryan Reynolds.
And Justin Smith. Justice Smith, isn't it?
I have no idea who that is.
Will Smith.
Paul Cross was saying it was prime time just after the wrestling. I guess he's on about Benny Hill. Yeah, I remember that. Watching Giant Haystacks and then watching Benny Hill.
Yeah.
Isn't Christopher Walken in? Is it Christopher Walken?
We've lost the Johnny man.
Chan's, yeah.
He fell asleep and
he's
landed on his button.
His laptop will have gone off again. Yeah. His laptop will have gone.
Dex was like, "Oh yeah, normally we're on until about 10 o'clock."
Well, I did say that you could go at any time. Yeah, guys. I think in all honesty, I think it probably is about time that
we stopped talking about paintball about an hour ago.
Yeah, we actually talked about paintball
hours ago.
Oh, dear. But anyway,
well, when we have something to talk about, we have had a couple where we've purely talked about paintballing, but we don't very rarely have things to talk about.
I think actually having a conversation with a photographer and like learning, as Albert was saying earlier on, learn about some of the gear and some of the stuff that you have to do and how much it costs.
That's been very enlightening.
It's been very interesting, and I think the fact that we're probably at one of our busiest points in the stream when you're talking about that. So hopefully there's potentially more players who might have a bit more.
Throw a coin in the hat.
For that. Yeah, they might throw a coin in the hat.
Actually, might put their hands in the pockets and pay for a photo.
Yeah. That's
well,
not.
Hopefully. But yeah, guys, for those of you that still are in the chat, if you are interested in following any of us in social media or anywhere else, there are some links in the description down below. And please don't follow it to our houses. That would be pushing the boundaries a little bit too far.
Oh,
but well, there we go. You just have one person that you can follow that far.
No one comes down to Cornwall. They give up around Bristol and go home.
Yeah. Paul says, thought the paintball chat was Wednesdays. Yeah, Paul, it is actually Wednesdays. It's my solo live stream on a Wednesday. Monday night is just where we get together with a few people and we'll have a bit of a chat and a bit talk on. So
we know we try to talk about paintball.
Yes, we're trying to talk about paintball, but
I try not to slag people off.
But
I've been good today.
Yes, you have. Albert, you've been very good.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so
can I mention the Hungry Hippo now? Seeing it's nearly time to go.
Right, and ladies and gentlemen, we will be bringing the show to a close. Thank you very much for watching.
There's a surprise. Yeah, quickly turn it off.
You need a beep button that just mutes him.
No, in all honesty, while you're on man, Albert, if you want to say something about somebody, then if that's what you want to do, then feel free.
I'm just going to buy one of your T-shirts.
Yes. Well, so far, would anyone like to have a guess of how many T-shirts I've sold?
46.
One of each pattern.
I've sold nada.
Do you know,
Albert, you might still be able to get in there and be the first person to buy one of my T-shirts.
Interesting.
I definitely want one.
There was actually a social media influencer. This came up in the news recently. She had literally hundreds of thousands of followers, and she put out loads and loads of stuff, and she was being loved and loads of likes and comments and subscriptions. She goes, "Hey, I'm bringing out my own brand of T-shirts and designer wear." She put in thousands of pounds of her own money. She sold like 20 T-shirts, and that was it.
Yep.
And she was like, "What's going on? Why aren't all my followers?" And this is the same, like with the Paintball magazine as well. Over 11,000 likes we've got on Facebook. If I sold a very small fraction of each of those people bought a magazine, I would be a very happy man.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it goes, because it's easier to engage with something online, give a like, a thumbs up, and then not think about it.
Definitely.
But to actually put your hand in your pocket, give someone money to produce more content is really, really difficult. And that comes down to what you're doing online, to podcasts, to photography, to people that are doing artwork and all sorts for the industry. It's difficult. Don't feel disheartened because
I know I'm not the only person
what people are like.
I know I'm not the only person that isn't actually doing well like that sort of thing. I know it's not exactly easy to get people to do stuff, but you see the way I kind of view it is I'm just not producing good enough content yet, so
No,
I just got to keep going.
I don't think that's true. I just think it's just one of those just one of those things.
I am definitely going to get one of them mag feddies stock class in drag. Definitely.
Well, Albert, if you do, tell us when you get one, and I'll tell you if you're the first person that's bought one.
You'll probably find out.
Just wait till payday.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's just whether or not I'm willing to part with it, because I would love just to buy it to give to somebody.
Yeah. I think the thing is, it would be funny, but I don't think it would ever get. I don't know.
I think I'd find it funny, but I think the person I give it to wouldn't find it funny.
Possibly. Anyway, right. Well, so anyway, guys, if anybody's got any final words, please say them now, because I'm going to draw the stream to a close in a moment.
Flan.
What was that?
Just flan. That was the final word.
Flan.
Yep. I like that. Yep, indeed.
Anyone else?
See you later. Bye.
Catch you later, guys.
You said one word. I didn't realise I was allowed a sentence.
Well, you have a sentence then. Bye, guys. I've got to give it a moment here, because apparently I keep getting wrong for closing the live stream too early. So bye, guys.
You do, yeah. Right in the middle of talking, and all of a sudden,
Teletubbies, say goodbye.
Please never do that again,
you actually do look